There we are.
Hello, all our lovely spooky friends that have decided to join us tonight. We're the Scary-ish podcast, and we're here with our Storytime episode to read you your homegrown horrors that you've sent us. And those are stories and experiences that you've experienced, paranormal, whatever.
Whatever, exactly. So if you guys have had anything spiritual like that happen to you, or bizarre, or have had a story told you that you just want to share, or something that you just want to talk to someone about and you don't want shared on the podcast, you can reach out to us. You can email storytime@scarish.com. You can also go to facebook.com/scarishpodcast. Please like the page if you go there. And then you can message us directly if you would like. You can also join the Scary-ish Spooky Friends group. Post it there for some instant feedback. That's always fun. And then if you want to join our Discord, please do that. Scarish.com. Scroll down, right-hand side, there's a link that says join us on Discord. Click that. You will be on our Discord in no time. You can also talk to us on Instagram. So many of you guys talk to us on Instagram. There's a lot of you.
Yeah,
we get more stories there than I think anywhere else at this point.
Really?
Maybe emails are still number one. But that is at Scarish Podcast. And if you want to tweet at us, it's at Scarish Pod. Only 280 characters with the Twitters. So I don't exactly recommend it, but it's always fun to interact with you fine folks. So, however you want to do it.
I'm Robin Grace, and this is Adam Diaz.
Oh, yeah, those are our names.
Yeah, we're here to read.
I'm excited. We're not going to start out with typical emails per se. We have a couple of things that were mailed to us like around the same time that aren't exactly like spooky stories. They're just shout outs or comments, and we don't want to ignore anyone that sent us anything, so we're going to read those. They're relatively short, and then we're going to get to the spooky stuff, correct?
Cool.
So I think you're going to wind up going first. Before we get to that, I do want to thank everyone, since it is November, this is the first time we've streamed in November, who has resubscribed to us on Twitch. Thank you so much. We do appreciate that. If you guys are subscribing through Amazon Prime, it is 100% free for you. So if you have Amazon Prime and you're listening to this right now and you're like, oh my God, I can give them $5 dues for free, please do that. Go to twitch.tv/scarishpodcast, click subscribe. You get one free per month from Amazon Prime. So if you guys want to do that, cool. And for those of you who have already done that, I'm going to roll your alert because you deserve to be recognized because we really appreciate it. So I think there was 4 while we were doing the countdown, and it doesn't pop up on the countdown screen. But in the meantime, Robin, what's going on in the stream chat?
I was just going to say, I'm really happy that the badges have started to work and show up because now everyone has their little subscription ghosties, which is super cute.
It is super cute. And correct me if I'm wrong, but the further along you get, the more months that you go in a row, you get different badges.
Yeah, so I've made different ones for I think there's one for 1 month, and then there's one for 1 year, 3 years. I think I don't remember, but I know depending on how long you've been a subscriber for, there's different ones.
Cool.
So.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Anything nice being said in the chat?
All right. Sorry. I don't know where my glasses are, so it's hard.
This is going to be a rough episode, folks. No glasses. That's scary. Scary stuff.
You guys want to watch me put my contacts in? That's not at all creepy.
Sorry. The dead area is the scariest part about this whole thing.
I was just going to be like, you want to see me poke my eyeball? No. Okay.
It's like that scene in Ace Ventura 2 where he's like, nyeh, nyeh, and he keeps doing it to him.
Oh my God, but he pushes his eyeball. That's the scariest part.
It's pretty gross. Not gonna lie. And now
I'm really happy that so many of you guys liked our last episode that we did about the bloop and the Disney things. Because I was kind of scared that it wouldn't go over very well.
Were you?
Yeah.
I knew it was going to do well because of the Disney stuff. I'm happy that we had such positive reception to the bloop because it is a weird topic. And on top of that, it's basically been scientifically disproven at this point. But you know what? Some of those details don't fucking add up. I don't buy it. Pretty sure it's Cthulhu. All hail Cthulhu. So you can never tell.
Yep.
So I see that we got some people over.
I got my little Zenyatta pop.
I did notice that. That's something she got from BlizzCon.
He looks like Cthulhu, and it's just the greatest thing. I had to get it.
We got some people over in YouTube. Shout out to Kayla Dancing Pineapple. Says, find someone who looks at you like Robin looks at Adam. Aw, that's sweet. I always wonder if she's looking at me like she wants to kill me or like she loves me. Because the ones that I catch, I have this perfect thing where Robin is with her niece and playing and she's laughing and it's this pure moment of happiness, and I was able to capture it with my cell phone. And then Robin looked up and noticed me taking a picture. So I have 2 pictures. I have one of this beautiful moment, and then I have one of her staring at me like she wishes I would burst into flames. And I like to show it to people like, this is her being happy and this is her noticing me existing, because it's just like
how much I hate you.
Yeah, pretty much. That's exactly what it is.
Thank you, Can't Do Not, for this being your first time tuning into the live show. Hopefully it is all you imagined it would be.
It's probably going to be horrible and you're never going to come back, but I hope that you like it. I really, really do. Sincerely, so.
Snark says his Xbox is working. Yay!
Hooray! Snark's Xbox took a shit. I was kind of upset about that. Snark also, that's the word I'm looking for, also won the Halloween costume contest at his work. So shout out. That was a badass fucking costume, not going to lie. So
the book was so cool.
The book was perfect. So which?
Winnie?
Which? That's so
Winnie?
funny. I think it was Winnie.
Yeah. No.
The Snark was Winnie from, I'm pretty sure it was Winifred.
Yeah.
Winifred? I don't know.
Yeah.
From Hocus Pocus. And he had the full-blown book. So, I don't know. It was just really a really, really good costume. I'm glad that you won.
It's Batman Baby says, I hope you know I pick you guys over Red Dead 2.
Wow. That's love.
Yeah.
Today I picked being productive over Red Dead 2 because I feel weird buying a video game when I'm still unemployed. So
did you buy it?
I did not.
Oh.
I'm waiting for clearance from you before I go out and purchase it. I do think we'd both have fun playing that game though, like trading off like with deaths, but I don't know. I wasn't going to do it. I wasn't going to make that independent decision.
I'm more for Fallout and Monster Hunter.
Yeah, and they're on the way too. And Monster only trades in for like $7. I used to work at GameStop. I get how that shit works, but that's so few dollar reduce. So it's the second time I've said that so far this episode.
Yeah, stop saying
I love it. It's my favorite thing. Is that and Dingle Donger.
Thank you so much for saying my hair is cute today.
She did a good job
It's
on
not very cute. It's like I'm hiding a bunch back here because I fucked it up. And at first I was like, I'm not going to wear a headband. It'll be fine. But now I'm just like, you have to wear a headband or it's just going to be like this mess and you don't want to see it.
I was getting ready for the show and I was like, okay, how do I want to do my hair? And I looked at the bathtub and I turned it on and I stuck my head under the faucet. I didn't even take a full shower. I just put my head under the water and then I redid it. I'm like, you look good. Which isn't true, but it's what I tell myself to keep going. So, right on. I'm going to go ahead and move into... Should I go first? Do you want to go first? I'll go first. It's
you
totally
already
fine.
told me that I was going to go first.
I did say that. Mothboy Real Estate, thank you so much for subscribing on Twitch Prime. We really appreciate it. Or Twitch. I shouldn't say Twitch Prime because I don't know. That could be like the straight up one out of his pocket and not out of his Amazon pocket. So, okay.
Okay.
I have my short email ready to go. So, I know I said you can go first, but do you want me to go first?
No, I go first. I already have it up.
Go for it.
All right. So this one goes a little like these. Does it have the name in it? Hold on, let me look.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so this is from Taylor, and it goes, all right, so the first part of this email isn't my story, just some little bits of fun that I've tried to remember. Firstly, I was listening to your episode on Alcatraz, and I loved it. Alcatraz is one of my favorite places. We need to go there.
We do.
Not because of all the death, obviously.
You never know.
But just the general history. If you're ever interested, you guys should read the Nicholas Flamel books.
We keep hearing
yes!
about these fucking books.
I've already read them.
Have you?
Yes.
Oh, no, I keep hearing about the Dresden Files. That's what I keep hearing about.
Yes. I have read the Nicholas Flamel books, and they are so good.
She's so excited. She shares an interest with someone.
I think the first one's like called The Alchemist or something, maybe.
I mean, it is
I
Nicholas
own them all
Flamel.
in hardback. Like, I love them. They're so good. It's just like, it's kind of like young adult books.
Okay.
But they're just so fun to read, and they have cool things about, have different characters, not characters, they're like entities in history. So it has like Anubis in it. It talks about Idrisil, the tree.
Idris Elba, I fucking love him. You mean the Tree of Life,
The Tree of Life.
He is the Tree of Life.
And stuff like that. So it's a really cool book. You guys should go read them. They're really short in comparison to other books that I've read, like Game of Thrones.
I always feel weird going into the young adult section because there's so many weird looking books. I shouldn't say weird looking. You just see the covers. You're like, I'm 33. I probably shouldn't be reading these.
That bookshelf, like right next to you, is like literally
all young adult. That's our young adult section right there. It has all these comic books that are still waiting to be read. It's very sad. We apologize to anyone who loves comics because we are not doing our due diligence in keeping up with it. I read most of my comic books on Instagram at this point because I follow so many fucking comic book accounts. 100% true.
All right.
Let's get back to this thing that was supposed to be super quick.
So in book 3 of the Nicholas Flamel books, the man that you mentioned, the Manuel Diaz guy, is actually a really influential character that they use. He's basically watching over Alcatraz in his afterlife. It's really cool. It is really cool. You guys really need to look into that series.
Clearly.
Also, I took a road trip to Alabama yesterday from Florida. And
As in yesterday being 2.5 months ago at this point.
Yeah. Oh, no, more than that now.
Whoops.
Like 3 months.
No. It's okay. Keep going.
Okay. Shit. And as always, I listen to your podcast anytime I drive. I was driving through Birmingham when the terrifying the Sloss Furnace episode.
Okay, right on.
Came out.
That was a good episode.
I almost choked on my coffee realizing I was driving where the story took place.
That is creepy.
That is awesome.
Coincidence? I think not.
This email became much longer than intended, and I've run out of time to type, so I'll send my creepy-ass stories later. Keep on creeping on, and I love you all.
Aw, thank you so much. We appreciate that. We really do. I look over out of the corner of my eye into the stream chat, and I see someone saying, Adam looking like a creep in the young adult section. That is my biggest fear, that people are going to be like, what is that dude doing buying that book? And I'm like, bitch, it's the Hunger Games. I can't wait for the next one to come out. I bought that series when it first came out. When the second one came out.
I've never read the Hunger Games
They
series.
are really good. They're fast reads, too, so they work.
I mean, I've read a lot of young adult. I've read, like, all the Vampire Academy books, like the whole Blue Blood series. I used to work in a bookstore.
So that makes it okay.
So, I mean, it doesn't make it necessarily okay, but I read a lot of young adult books. I think they're really fun. They're good to read.
I agree.
And,
I think it's a
Harry
good
Potter,
audience, too.
hello.
Yeah, I think it's a great audience to reach out to.
Twilight.
It's fun reading adult fantasy as well, and I don't mean like the fun adult fantasy. I mean like the George R.R. Martin type shit. But it's also kind of super depressing, so sometimes it doesn't hurt to take a break and go back to young adult.
Yeah.
So, right on. I'm going to move on to my next one, which is the shorter thing. It's not a story. This one is from Ruby, and it starts out like this. Just finished listening to episode 37, and I would like to say my fiance is an identical twin. That was the twin episode where we talked about twinning stuff. Crazy fact, he was actually supposed to be a triplet, but when his mother was pregnant, she had a miscarriage and thought she was only pregnant with that one.
Whoa.
But then she found out she was still pregnant and with twins.
That's so
It's like a double
crazy.
blessing after something really terrible happens.
Okay.
One thing I found funny and crazy was that they both began to date women that had the same last name.
Shut up.
Though I am not related to that girl. A year later, that were both a year older than them. So they have the same last name and they're both a year older than them. And they're not related. When I dated my fiance back in high school, in parentheses, we dated in high school and reconnected 6 years later and got engaged a year later.
That's really
That's
cool.
super sweet. If you love something, set it free. And if it comes back to you, engage it in a year. His twin dated a girl with the same birthday as mine. So yeah, that is weird that stuff overlaps like that. Because it's weird because it doesn't always happen with just brothers and sisters. It happens so frequently when it's twins. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, it could happen with siblings all the time, but when it happens with twins, it just seems even like odder, like more of a coincidence. I think
that happens with siblings very often. Where
I don't think it does either.
Same thing.
I think a lot of times with siblings, you're trying to differentiate yourself, like become your own person.
Right.
And when you're twins, like you are really honored by the similarities you share sometimes. I think it depends on the set of twins, really.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think lots of twins are like, I don't want to be like you. I don't want to be exactly the same.
That's I think how brothers and sisters are when they're born with like age gaps between the two of them. But I don't know. I want to give a quick shout out to Zwazzles, who's donated 1,000 bits. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. We love you. And shout out to Tawny Rounds, who has subscribed over on YouTube. So thank you so much. We appreciate it.
All right. And is there more?
No, that was the end of mine. So let's just check out some stream chat, see if anything else was popped up there. Nope, just a lot of stuff about books for life.
Carly says, I want to believe the bloop.
That's funny. I do too.
White chocolate forever.
White chocolate sucks. Okay, I'll just be honest. White chocolate's not that bad. Whenever I eat white chocolate, though, I'm like, I wish I was eating any other kind of chocolate.
I just had the toasted white chocolate mocha at Starbucks today, and it was so good. So good.
Pay Paradise says, I'm bummed I didn't get to meet you guys at Disneyland. I went to put a deposit down on a cat I'm getting in 3 weeks. We know.
Yes, we know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Who was it that was nice enough to tell us?
Jangmi told us all about the cat.
We appreciate that.
It's a very cute cat.
I agree.
But yeah, we wish we would have met you.
We will see you sometime soon because we have the annual passes now, so we're going to be out there a bunch.
I think we're actually going to be out there next weekend.
Next weekend? Oh, my
uncle's
God.
here this next weekend.
It's just so much money all the time.
But yeah, it was really fun. It was so cool just being able to meet everyone this past weekend, and I cannot believe how many people we met and we got to hang out with. I think we met like almost 10 people.
Yeah. And I mean, you guys probably roll your eyes like 10 people. Those are 10 perfect strangers that we would not have met without doing this podcast.
And it was so cool because it's like hanging out with a bunch of friends.
Yeah.
Because it didn't seem like awkward or anything. It's like we hung out, we talked about a whole bunch of different stuff. We rode rides together. It was like the coolest thing.
I will say it might not have seemed awkward. It didn't seem awkward for us. But I imagine it was kind of awkward for you guys because I'm pretty fucking awkward, and I just admitted out like I'm awkward, so I'm just gonna talk because that's how I cover me being awkward, and that's just what I do. So hopefully it wasn't too
horrible. Sometimes I don't know what to say, and there'll be like weird silences, and then I'm just like, let me ask you a business question I'd ask in a job interview.
That's so funny. Where do you see yourself in 5 years when you're just like trying to hang out? That's just a weird fucking question.
But no, it was seriously really fun. And there was a couple that we met that literally was just like, oh my God, are you guys so-and-so from the podcast?
Yeah, they didn't know it was the meetup day.
What?
And they just sort of noticed us. It was super fucking cool. We met up with
amazing.
and Jamie's boyfriend, which was super, super fun. I look over and I see over here Jamie Boone saying, I'm here in all caps. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
Hello, Jamie.
So, I don't know. We had a really, really good time when we were out there. So, thank you guys so much for showing up.
Fun.
And for anyone who didn't show up, the next time we're out in that region, or even if we're going out and doing something like not private in like the Las Vegas region, since that's where we live, we'll let you guys know via social media and be like, hey, like if you guys want to come out and say hi.
Yeah,
or if we're going to do like a movie or something
like that.
On
Thursday, I literally posted like, we're in Disneyland on Thursday, and then a couple were literally like, oh my God, you're at Disney, we're coming.
Yeah, we're crashing your
Disney.
Disney.
So it's like so cool.
And it was really fun. Every single experience we've had with you folks has been super fun.
It's been so fun, and we're so thankful that you guys are here and supporting us and hanging out with us and being our friends, and it's so neat.
It is. It really, really is. I cannot overstate that enough. So
let's see.
Do we want to move on into our first story of the night?
Oh, I'm still reading.
I know you are. It's we're 15 minutes into it. We haven't gotten to our first story yet, so we're running a little bit behind, but I'm sure you guys don't mind.
Nathan C says Blizzard gave out Destiny 2 for free during BlizzCon. That is totally true. You guys can claim it until the 18th, I think. So do that if you want a free Destiny 2.
Kaylee over on YouTube says, I'm going to be the same way when I go to South Korea on Friday, laughing face.
Dude,
dang.
I really want to go to Korea one day.
She does. We talked about it a lot.
I feel like I would go to Korea for a couple days and be like, let's just hop on a plane and go to Japan.
I know.
Because why not? I feel it's just like I can actually read stuff there and kind of figure my way out there easier than going to Korea where I can only read like basic letters. So
no matter what country we go to, whether it's Korea or Vietnam or Japan, I'm going to be like, don't fucking leave my side because I will never find you. You'll be able to see me because I'm I'm like a foot taller than everyone there.
Did you ever lose me?
I lost you one time getting off the subway because the rush of people was coming in and you didn't look back. And so I got out and I looked right, I looked left, and I couldn't see you. And I'm like, I'm just going to stand here and I'm going to start screaming, I need an adult until she comes. And then you like turn the corner and you're like, what's taking you so long, bitch? And I was like, that's rude.
It's probably what I actually said, too.
Yeah, I'm almost 100% certain that's what she actually said.
Let's see. Mothboy Real Estate Easy Fave Ghost Podcast. That's so nice.
Thank you.
The Snarked. What are the books called? The books, I think it's just called like it's about Nicholas Flamel. I don't know. I know the first one is called. It's got to be called The Alchemist or something. There's 3 of them, 3 or 4 of them.
I don't know.
But
let's get
really
into
good.
A spooky story.
What? I'm still reading.
Okay, never mind. We're not going to read any spooky stories. For the rest of the show. I'm totally fucking kidding. I'm just messing with her. I'm just trying to make her mad. So I'm scrolling up and I see Kaylee over on YouTube says, shut your lying mouth, Adam. White chocolate for life. White chocolate is not that good, man. Like, it's just not.
Have you ever had one of those not crunch, the cookies and cream chocolate bars?
I've had Oreos. That's good enough for me.
It's like white chocolate with Oreo in it. It's so... Shut your fucking mouth.
You mean like the Christmas Oreos where they put white chocolate over Oreos and make them taste disgusting? I'm pretty sure my mom was the one who clapped back on me on the Facebook group.
But wait,
when I said I hated white chocolate, and she's like, it's so good, especially when it's drizzled over an Oreo.
Fuck yeah.
I was like, I will burn this house down, woman.
You're weird.
Yeah, obviously.
Oh my God.
I take my Oreos very fucking seriously.
I'd climb Idris Elba like a tree.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah. I want to be like, Idris Elba, hit us up. No.
Yeah, Idris Elba, hit either of us up. You do that. You do you. I fucking love Idris Elba. I think he's amazing.
Me too. Carly says YA for life. Young adult books for life.
Right on.
They're just so good, guys. If you haven't ever looked in the young adult section, they're really good stories, especially like sci-fi fantasy. Just go in there and check it out.
Carly says, as a mom of twins, I hope none of the stereotypical twin things are true because they creep me out. LOL. They could also be cool. I'm just saying, like, if it winds up becoming true, just don't get too creeped out by it because it's also kind of fucking sweet. What else is on here?
Swazzle says, my brother married a Christina and my name is Christina.
Wow.
That must have been
Weird.
So awkward.
Yeah,
like,
I can't even talk to another female named Linda because that's my mother's name.
Really?
I'm just like, yeah, I'm like, nope, I can't talk to you. There's only one Linda in my life.
White chocolate pretzels, yes.
Well, they're not that bad. I won't lie. They're not that bad.
I like white chocolate pretzels. I like yogurt-covered raisins. Fuck yeah, yogurt-covered raisins.
I'm just pissing Kaylee off over on fucking YouTube.
Why?
Just, no, God, Adam, cookies and cream bars are so good. I like
Oh.
cookies and cream. I just don't like white chocolate. I'm sorry. In truth, I'm not a big fan of chocolate, but I love white chocolate. So that's the thing. People
Ooh,
who don't
peppermint
like
bark?
people
Fuck
who
yeah.
don't like chocolate
Oh
love
my
white
God.
chocolate. She's not a big fan of chocolate, but she likes white chocolate. You know why? It tastes very different. It tastes similar. It has the texture and the flavor of shit. So I think that's why. I'm just kidding. I don't even think she's paying attention to me anymore. So no big deal.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm actually back to reading the people that matter, not your mouth.
I hate you so much, dude. I really do.
Oh, see, okay, so Trip 7 says, is it the secrets of the immortal Nicholas Flamel? Maybe it is. That sounds very familiar. That just might be. And yes, Amber, next time we go, we'll let you know, and hopefully you can come with us and bring your cat. I love cats.
That's hilarious.
We were cool. Now you can't be trusted because you don't like white chocolate.
Don't give a shit. Kaylee over there and YouTube says, no gifts from Korea for you, Adam. All for Robin. That's
Yay!
fine. That's fine. I don't
Yes.
need anything. All I get is shit from everyone anyways, so that's
Oh my God.
totally fine. I knew this whole fucking episode, as soon as I saw that shit hit the Scary Spooky Friends group, I knew this whole thing was going to devolve into me versus everyone
Why?
over fucking white chocolate, because white chocolate tastes like poop.
No, it doesn't. It's sweet and
This
delicious.
is pie versus cake all over again. Totally true, Nate and C. It totally is. But that's okay, because then I know where people stand. Like, the important things matter to me, like who likes cake better than pie. Because cake is obviously the rational choice. Although I'd like pie a lot more if it was savory pies. I do like savory pies. I'm not sure about dessert pies sometimes.
Carly says white chocolate is just like chocolate for people that don't enjoy joy.
That's fucking hilarious.
All right, okay.
Let's
so
get into a story.
I'm going to read now.
You're going first. Okay, I'm going to
Okay.
mark this. Give me a transition, and then you hit this thing hard. Dude, come on.
Sorry, he said hit it
That's
hard.
the audio levels for everyone right there. Sorry about that.
So, everything below is okay to
Whoa.
share.
You just jumped into the email, no transition whatsoever? Just give us like a, I'm going to
This
start reading my first email.
Is an email. And here we go.
No. I was talking over you that time. Give it another shot.
This is an email. And I'm just going to get into it.
Okay, cool. Let's get this started.
Okay, so, hi, Robin and Adam. Hello.
Hello, I was drinking coffee. Sorry about that.
Get your shit together.
I'm sorry. You were taking so long
It's
to
like-
get started.
Why aren't you doing the intro? Can't you do that? And then I'm reading it and you're like, oh, sorry, I wasn't even paying attention.
Do you need to go to the bathroom? Do you need to poop? Because right now you're full of shit. Please keep reading.
I binged through every episode and caught up. Now I wait for every new episode in anticipation.
Oh, that's nice.
Love listening to you guys, and honestly, I haven't been able to find any other podcast that keeps me as entertained as yours.
Entertained?
Entertained.
Instantly entertained.
That's just my mouth not working. It's perfect. Thank you so much. That's
That is-
very sweet.
That is really nice of you to say. That makes
I
me
know
feel really
we're
nice.
far from it, but that's very flattering.
I was checking out the iTunes today and checking out the reviews. We're at 102 total, and we gained more 5 stars. So
Yay!
thank you guys
that's
so much for
awesome.
leaving reviews and leaving ratings. We really do appreciate that.
You both make me laugh a lot.
Aw.
I'm the same age as Adam and get pretty much every movie / pop culture reference.
Fuck yes.
And cringe / giggle when Robin doesn't know because of the age difference.
It's not that big of an age gap either. It's so frustrating.
How? It's only like 4
4
years.
years. It's 4 years.
But that's like a whole high school. Like,
Experience, I know.
yeah.
You were an 8th grader when I was a senior, right? You were
Yeah,
class of 2006, 7?
yeah, it's creepy.
2006?
7.
Okay, I was 03. 03 was the best.
Yeah. Just, it's weird because, like, imagine being a senior in high school and being like, whoa, guys,
Check
that
out this-
8th grader.
Check out this
Damn.
8th grader.
Check the prepubescence on that
That's
one.
super fucking creepy when you put it that way. I didn't meet her until she was like 24, so I don't want to hear shit from anyone.
Okay. So, I don't feel old, but sometimes Ghostbusters is possibly the best.
It's true.
Hashtag don't cross the streams.
Exactly.
Into my...
I'm debating about sharing a story. You know, I'm just going to go ahead and share it because I'm pretty open with you guys. I had many a drunken night in college, and I have many a drunken friends, and just sober friends too. But yeah, sometimes we'd all go outside and have a pee break together, and sometimes you pee in the same direction, and as soon as that happens, everyone starts yelling, like, don't cross the streams, and then you all pee on each other's pee. And it's fun. It's stupid stuff that I don't know. Stupid guys do when they
Girls don't do that.
Or you write your name in the snow when you pee. And my name is 4 letters long, so I usually used to win. So, fun stuff. Okay, let's keep going.
Yeah, okay.
It's harder for you guys to aim. Crossing the streams with 4 girls is going to be like an impressive feat. So, just saying.
All right. So, into my not-so-scary story. My mom and dad honeymooned in Hawaii in 1984. Even though my mom was warned by locals not to take the black sand, I know where this is going.
Oh, God.
Not to take the black sand off the beach. I remember the early episode with Amando, and he talks about not taking lava rocks.
This is like the 3rd time in the last 5 days we've heard people talk about the Amando episode, because there's a lot of Mondo fans out there. We need to get him back on the show.
You got to tell him. You got to text him and
I
be
do.
like, hey.
He's in our fantasy football league. I think I play him in like 2 weeks. So I'll tell him like he needs to forfeit the game to me, or else I'll never let him back on the show.
Yeah, he's going to be like, I don't give a fuck.
He'll still wreck my fucking face.
She insisted and packed herself a small vial that she took home with her of the black sand. And they lived in SoCal, and I was born there in 85. Whatever house we were in, the water heater would break. My dad swears it happened when I was an infant, but I don't remember. We moved from SoCal to the Midwest when I was really young and lived in Highland Park, Illinois.
Wow, I know exactly where they
Really?
lived. Yeah, I know exactly where Highland Park is.
Where is it?
It's near Chicago. It's nearby where I grew up.
The first house we lived in, the water heater blew, and the box next to it had the black sand in it.
What the fuck?
When we moved to another home in Illinois, it happened the same way. This was less than a 3-year span.
Wow.
Then we moved to Fort Wayne, Indiana. No joke, the same thing happened, and the box with the black sand was again right next to the water heater. This time, the basement flooded and made a huge mess, and still, my mother, a stubborn Chicana,
she's like, I'm not getting rid of that sand. I'm just talking like my cousins talk.
It's hereditary. I am the same way, and she refused to get rid of the sand. We moved back to SoCal when I was 10, and I know you can guess what was in the box placed next to the water heater. The friggin' black sand.
So I have a question. When you take something like that, which I would never do, but for those of you out there who are dumb and have, do you throw it away or do you return it?
You send it back.
Do you just ship it back?
So when
to Hawaii, care of Hawaii.
Well, you send it back to where a lot of people send it back to the hotel they stayed in.
Okay.
So they send it back to the hotel with a letter that like apologizes for taking it or whatever. Or
have you ever experienced that being sent back?
Not at the hotel I stayed at. I don't know. Or that I worked at. Sorry.
Okay.
No, or they'll send it to the like tourist, what is it called? Like a park or something. Yeah, but they just mail it back and they mail it with a letter that says, we're sorry we took it.
It's pretty lazy, but it's also relatively inexpensive compared to flying back to Hawaii.
Well, imagine throwing it away and then you can never fix it and you're riddled with bad luck forever.
Could you plant it on someone else to give them your bad luck?
This isn't that movie with the button.
What?
Drag Me to Hell?
Never seen it.
Oh, we gotta get on
Obviously,
that.
Yep. It's because the title spoils the ending, so.
Okay.
Just jump back into it. Come on.
I forgot where I was now.
I figured.
Okay. So, in California, there are no basements, and the water heater was in our garage. So, the flooding ruined so much stuff. Mainly my dad's record collection. That sucks.
That really sucks.
Water sucks.
I
it
knew
really, really
I
sucks.
fucking knew you were going to go there.
Oh my God, it's perfect because water ruined everything.
I got it. Totally got it.
Okay. He was absolutely furious, but my mother was still not convinced that the sand was cursed.
How are you not convinced? You took sand, and the sand is bringing the ocean into your house repeatedly.
Water heaters are expensive.
Yeah,
How
no
can
shit.
you have so many wrecked water heaters?
Floods are expensive, too. Like, when you get shit that's water damaged, it's just ruined. Like, that's the end of it. The only thing that you can't, like, have that gets damaged from, like, a flood is like pool equipment, you know what I mean? And some of that shit even gets ruined. Like if you go downstairs and your floaties are floating, you're gonna be like, well, at least those work, you know? And everything else is fucking ruined. Just saying.
I've never had a basement to flood. Yeah.
One day,
so
you'll get to experience it. Yeah, it sucks.
Okay. Okay. So when we all vacationed, oh, hold on. Hip, hip, deep, deep. Rewind.
Wow. Remix, and there goes.
Oh no, Zenyatta died. Okay, I'll fix it in a
Zenyatta
second.
just fell over.
So, the water heater was replaced and the mess cleaned up. The box was placed next to the water softener. After the softener exploded and more items were ruined, my dad had had enough and the sand was finally removed from the house. I have no idea how they disposed of it or where they put it, but that was in 1996-ish, and they've been water heater safe since.
Wow, that's good.
When we all vacationed in Hawaii in 2015, I made damn sure my mom didn't take any contraband back home with her. Just stick with the macadamia nuts, like the chocolate-covered macadamia nuts.
Coffee, maybe. Some Kona coffee.
Yeah, Kona coffee. It's pretty
about
safe.
It. You don't need to take, like, the ashes of spirits of the island. Just leave those there.
Nothing for, or fucking, whoa, I don't know how to read. Thanks for letting me share. Love the podcast, and I can't wait to hear more. I included a pic of my own baby, Archie Poo. He's a wackadoo who loves to bark at nothing. At least I hope it's nothing. Keep
That's
on
hilarious.
Creeping on Sarah!
Thank you for sending that in.
That's Sarah, the one that we hung out with.
Is that the one who made the scariest ears?
Yeah.
Wow, perfect timing.
Thank you so much.
I wish we would have read this right before we went and not right after we went.
That would have been cool.
But, you know, it should happen. So that's a really good story.
Yeah, it's a really good story.
So good stuff. I really enjoyed that one because I don't know. I'm not the type of person who's going to take something that I've been told, like, if you take this, you'll be haunted. Typically, I leave that shit well enough alone. So it's always nice to hear stories about what happens to people who actually do take it. So let's take a break and look over to the stream chat. And there is a lot of stuff in there. Note to self, not taking sand from places. Sometimes sand isn't, like, I shouldn't say cursed, but sacred. Like, there's sand up in, like, the dunes in northwest Indiana where I grew up that no one ever said, like, don't take that. So I understand when people, you know, don't realize that the same culture doesn't apply everywhere, but at the same time, maybe you should just check that, you know, just a little bit before you decide you're going to start stealing shit. So, good stuff. It actually is near Chicago, Ulrich says. Indeed it is. Kaylee was saying during this story, nope, chuck the box in the fireplace. I think that just disperses the spirits into your house, and then they just start killing everyone. Ulrich says, Board of Tourism, National/State Park. That's what I was thinking when she was trying to figure out where you send that to, is the Board of Tourism. I'm glad that we have Zenyatta fixed. That way you guys can see his glory.
His glory.
Zwazzles went and Googled it and shared the link in the chat. That's really nice. So, good stuff.
Oh, man, I'm looking at peppermint bark chocolate again, and I want some.
List different addresses for different items. So, depending on what you steal,
that's neat.
You have to send it in a different place. So
what
that's
else
good
could
stuff.
you steal?
The Heart of Tafiti. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, that's really good. High five.
Thank you. I did cheeks over here. I saw.
Oh,
777
you
said,
suck.
You don't want Tafiti bearing down on your ass. This is very, very true. Carly says, my husband had an apartment lovingly known as my apartment in his early 20s, my late teens, that was already disgusting, but once the water heater messed up and the hallway turned into a swampway, I stopped visiting. I would too, man. Water damage fucking sucks. The worst is in the winter when it gets super, super cold outside and your sump pump freezes. Like, I don't know if anyone ever had that happen to them before. And then the ground thaws and it just starts, like, churning water into your fucking basement before your sump pump thaws. And it's just, like, it's the worst thing ever because it's just freezing water just filling your basement. And then if it drops again, like, your basement can basically become an ice skating rink.
That's so cool.
Depending on how fucking cold it is. I lived out in the fucking middle of nowhere, so.
Yeah, again, I have no idea how that feels. Linda says, white chocolate covered Oreos only available during the holidays.
It's true, and there's a reason, because they're terrible.
You're terrible.
Kaylee over on YouTube says, 07 Team Robin again. Jesus Christ.
Glitch says, I don't like white chocolate. Got you, Adam.
Fuck yeah, Glitch. You're my guy. We're going to play some Overwatch.
I'm totally down with playing Overwatch.
You don't get to play with us. You're on Team White Chocolate. Get the fuck out of here. Please don't hit me. I'm kidding.
That's right, bitch.
Totally allowed to play. I had a friend one time. We were just sitting around bullshitting. This is actually during a snowstorm where we were snowed in, and I was stuck there for 3 days at their house. And it was him, his wife, and their firstborn kid. And they hadn't had their second one yet. And we're just all hanging out. I think it's like the second day. And his wife comes in from outside, and he has this big stogie that he was like, I can't wait till it thaws outside so I can smoke this outside. I wish that I was allowed to smoke a cigar in my own house. And he was just hyping himself up like, when she comes back in here, I'm going to put my fucking foot down, and I'm smoking this inside. And she came back inside, and he had this stogie, and he's ready to light it. And she's like, what do you think you're doing? And he's like, bitch, I own this house. Please let me. And, like, his fucking tone shifted halfway through his sentence, and I could not stop fucking laughing.
That's
Needless
hilarious.
to say, he didn't smoke the cigar. So it was so funny, though.
Let's see. Oh, Carly and Ulrich are having, like, the greatest, like, symmetry. Like, they're the same person. They get along so well.
Good.
And they're talking about the fusion dance.
What is the fusion dance?
Hello, Dragon Ball. fusion.
Oh, right on. I know exactly what you're talking about. I thought it was like something new from Fortnite. Or
well,
something.
I guess technically like this, and you're supposed to do that.
Well, you do the thing where you're like blah 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 fusion, and then you do that.
Yeah.
I used to do it during dodgeball in high school, and my, I guess coach. I don't know what you call a gym teacher in high school. We all called him coach, but he'd be like, "Stop doing that," because he hated us.
Trip 7 says, I have the title 4 Girls Cross Streams on Pornhub.
Wow, that's fucking just...
What the fuck?
Shout out to Akasuna no Kairi, who just resubbed for the third month in a row.
Good.
Yep. Well, I've read it twice now, so I'll keep trying to get better at it, and hopefully I don't fuck up anyone's name. I was able to apologize to Jang Mi in person for fucking up her name, and she was very nice about it, and she said, it's okay, people do it all the time. I just add them to a list that I keep in my brain of people I will murder later on in life. So hopefully I'm further down that list and I don't die first.
We have Overwatch on PC and Xbox.
Basically, all the things worth playing it on. Suck it, PS4. I know everyone plays PS4. I'm just not making any friends tonight by not liking white chocolate or PS4s, apparently.
Yeah, so we can play it on both, but I guess technically because Glitch only has it on PC, we'll be playing it on PC.
The Snarked only has it on PC and Xbox, too, so cool. I'm at the bottom, so I'm going to go ahead and start with my story if you're cool with that.
Oh, yeah, I'll keep looking through this and you keep doing that.
Okay, so here we go. So I'm going to move on to my first proper story of the evening, or if you're listening to this during the daytime, of whenever the fuck you're listening to it.
Jangmi says, fight me in 72 years.
Wow. Deal. I'll be 105. 72, she said?
Yeah,
yep,
in
105.
72 years, yep.
Cool. And it starts out like this. The subject is someone/something grabbed my foot. Feel free to share. So, cool. Hi, Robin and Adam.
Hello.
Hello. Like many people, I also found the podcast on Spotify. Shout out to Spotify. When we met someone this past week, they were like, oh, yeah, we started listening to you guys on Spotify. Shout out to Spotify. I was like, fuck, I clearly say that way too much.
It was so cute. This weekend was probably one of the funner weekends we've had traveling.
It was probably one of the funnest weekends I've ever had, to be honest with you.
You're a liar.
No, dead serious. I told Robin that I enjoyed going to Disneyland and meeting you folks more than I enjoyed BlizzCon this year. That's not a shot at BlizzCon either.
So you were saying this past weekend was more fun than us going to the IPL Dice Show the first time we ever hung out?
No, that was like the first time we ever hung out. That's super special. So that will never be replaced. But I'm saying that this was incredibly fun. Probably my favorite Disney trip I've ever taken. So I'm going to get back to this email before I start crying because I just love you guys so much. I've been enjoying it very much. I started at the beginning and have been binge listening at work. First, let me say that I am super skeptical about supernatural things and can usually find a reasonable explanation for most things. Samesies. That being said, this is something that happened to me when I was 7 or 8. At the time, we lived in a 2-bedroom apartment and my sister and I shared a room. We each had a lofted bunk bed, and in parentheses, the top bunk only, with a desk and a chair underneath instead of a bottom bunk. That's super smart, because then each kid gets their own little, small office. My bed was on the wall opposite the door, so I could see the entire room and into the hallway when the door was open from my bed. I don't like where this is heading. Wow,
there's a lot going on.
Yeah, this is long. One night, neither my sister or I wanted to go to sleep, so she came over and laid in my bed, and we talked. While we were talking, my foot dropped down into the small space between the bed and the wall. I let it dangle there and was slowly swinging it back and forth. Fuck. All of a sudden, I felt a hand grab my foot and ankle. It wasn't a blanket, as I could feel the individual fingers, and it felt like skin. Also,
no, it felt like skin.
Also, there was no blanket, in parentheses, or anything else hanging down in that space.
Nope.
I immediately pulled my foot up, but didn't immediately freak out. Wow, that's impressive.
That's brave.
I would have been crying and screaming and been shoving my brother out of the bed kill it! Even at 7, I thought there must be a rational explanation, and it was probably my dad playing a joke. I thought he would come out from under the bed and tell us to stop talking and go to sleep, but no one came out.
Oh, no.
I looked down through the crack where my foot had been, but I couldn't see anything.
Oh,
I asked my sister to look over the other edge because she could see all the way underneath, but she said there was no one there.
Shut up.
Since my bed was on the wall opposite the door, there was no way that anyone could have left our room without me seeing them. They could, in parentheses, they could have come in without me seeing because I was laying down and not paying attention to the door, but after I felt my foot grabbed, I sat up and would have been able to see someone leave the room.
Oh my God.
I got scared and called out to my parents. They both came to the door and said they were in the living room the whole time.
No.
And neither had come into our room. They turned on the lights and looked under my bed, but didn't see anything either. There was nothing hanging down between the bed and wall that my foot might have gotten tangled up in. I was scared enough about it
Ugh.
that even if it had been my dad and he somehow had managed to sneak off out of the room without me seeing, he would have fessed up rather than let me continue to be scared. In parentheses, he liked to play jokes but was never mean about them. That's solid. I totally understand that. Nothing else creepy ever happened in that apartment, and to this day, both my parents swear it wasn't them, so I have no idea who or what grabbed my foot, but I never, ever hang my foot off the side of the bed. Every single person listening to this is going to think of this the next time they put their foot off the side of the bed.
Just the other day, I was like, the dog was taking up so much space, I was thinking, I'll just put my leg off to the side. And then I was thinking about it, and the longer I thought about it, I was like, no, I need to pull my foot up right now.
That's so funny. You can share this on the podcast if you like. Thanks, and looking forward to more episodes, Kristen. P.S. My friend is getting married at the Stanley Hotel next week. I'll let you know if any ghosts attend. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I was telling Robin when we were in Disneyland, and we were talking about the Disneyland thing. I think I might have actually said this the previous episode that just came out. But how many times you might walk past a ghost and not realize that that's a ghost? Because there's so many people around, so you wouldn't even know. Yeah. Just saying. Like, you could be on the dance floor, and there could be another couple dancing, and then you could just step right through them, and they're gone. So, just saying. Great story. Thank you for sending that in. I will think about that every time I put my foot off the side of the bed from now on. So, I really think sometimes that like, paranormal entities mess with children because they're smart enough to know no one will believe a fucking kid if you tell them something happened. You know what I mean? Like, I really think that that's the case. Like, if I turn into a ghost and I'm bored and I have all of eternity to play jokes, but I don't want to be too vicious, I mean, I'm probably going to mess with kids.
I scared Adam yesterday.
She's a bitch. She hid behind the door for no reason. She's like, "Bleh." Everything was dark, and I was walking through the darkness, and I was like, where did she go? And she pulled that shit, and I was like, you have started a war that you are not prepared to be in. Like, you can't even imagine the things that I'm going to do.
But now you can't scare me because I fall down the stairs all the time. What if I die?
I'm not going to scare you on the stairs. I'll find other ways to scare you. Yeah. Cannot fucking wait. It's going to be good. So maybe I'll record it. Maybe I'll put it on our scary-ish social media. You never know. So cool. Let's take a quick break over into Stream Chat and see what you guys had to say about that story.
Let's see. Lots of talk about Overwatch and what systems. Lots of PS4.
Flora Navarro over on YouTube says, I always miss when you guys go live. So happy I randomly clicked on YouTube. We're happy you randomly clicked on YouTube too.
Thank you for
joining us. Hopefully you can stay.
Jang Me asks if I would rather it feel like bones instead of skin.
Not me. If it felt like bones, then I would be convinced it's a demon. If it felt like skin, I would convince myself it had been someone, like a person that was messing with me.
So when it's skin, I'm just trying to think, like... So
here's what I imagine. Hold your wrist up. So this is up so they can see it. Oh. This is what I imagine. Like, you feel this, and then you start feeling each individual finger, and then it's squeezing, trying to drag you to hell. Yeah, that's what I imagine.
Okay.
Kaylee over on YouTube says, Adam, you've been redeemed. Xbox forever. Thank you. I love Xbox.
I love Xbox.
It's done everything I've ever wanted it to. Back when I first got mine, we both got ours at the same time. We were both working at GameStop. I got one in Arizona. She had one up here in Las Vegas. And I was able to walk in the house, say Xbox on, it would turn on, say go to Skype, it would go into Skype, and I'd say dial Robin. And I would be face chatting with her like 10, 20 seconds after I entered the room. And it was fucking awesome because it was really hard. Like,
except for the times where it was like logging you into my sister's account.
That happened one time. That's when I used to be really skinny. I used to be in very good shape. And I started growing man boobs and getting fat. And I walked past my Xbox, and it had the Kinect on, and I didn't have my shirt on. And it does this thing where it recognizes your face, and it just logs you in. And I walked past with my glorious set of man boobs just hanging out, and it logged me in as Robin's sister. And I was like, whoa, what the fuck, Xbox? And, yeah, that was like a reality check. And then we did Kinect Sports Rivals, where it scans your body with the new Kinect.
Yeah.
And then it gives you an in-game avatar, and it was way fatter than I thought it should be. I was like, fuck this game, and fuck David Tennant, because he's totally the narrator.
I love David Tennant.
Who doesn't?
Lots of PC Overwatch players. I like it on PC. I just wish I were better at it on PC.
Mojo Pokey Blue says, do you have Overwatch on the Commodore 64? Good question.
Is it better or worse to not see the demon? Someone asked.
I don't know.
Who asked? Zwazzles asks.
It depends on what you want. If I didn't see the demon, I think I could move on with my life. If I saw the demon, I'd be like, I need to, I don't know. I'd feel more like it was going to haunt me forever unless I dealt with it. You know what I mean? It's harder to ignore, but at the same time, I might get more resolution out of it. I don't fucking know. I guess.
Would you rather have the foot-grabbing demon or the butt-touching demon?
I have a butt-touching demon already, and that's you. I'll take the foot-grabbing one.
Shut the fuck up. Okay. Yeah, never leave your leg off the side. I do not have PlayStation Plus. I have my PlayStation. I just don't use it. My Xbox Live doesn't expire for like 2 years. So that's how I do it.
That's all I have to say about that.
That's all I have to say about that. Just because whenever we go to E3, Xbox gives us tons of free shit.
This is very true. Xbox gives out a lot of stuff, and it's very nice.
I think the only thing I've ever gotten from PlayStation is a lanyard.
Nailed it, PlayStation. We've never gone to PlayStation Experience, though. They just started doing that, and Microsoft needs to step up their game and do something like that, too. This is turning into a different type of podcast.
Yeah, so. This is Nerd Chills Reborn, apparently.
I love video games.
Record that scare, Adam. No.
I'm going to. I'm going to do it for you guys now. She's going to be so fucking pissed.
The hash-slinging slasher. That's SpongeBob, right? The hash-slinging slasher.
I don't know. I don't know anything about SpongeBob.
I'm pretty sure.
Swazzle says, what if you saw it, it smiled a shark tooth grin and then disappeared? I'd appreciate it disappearing. And I'd be like, did you know that your shark teeth are actually scales? I just learned that. It's totally true, by the way. Yeah, sharks' teeth aren't actually teeth. They're actually like just sharpened scales. That's why they're not. Constantly grow rows, and if they fall out, they come back. It's because they're not technically teeth. They're really just scales inside their mouth. Yeah.
That's incredible.
No bullshit. Or someone lied to me. I probably found that on a random fact generator. It was just total bullshit. Who knows?
Mothboy Real Estate says, I always stuff my blankets in the tiny crack between the bed and my wall because not today, ghosts.
Nice.
When I was growing up, when I was a little kid, like in elementary school, I never wanted to go to school in the morning. So it was like the main bed, and all three of my sisters shared the same bed. And so they'd be sleeping on the bed, and there'd be a space between the bed and the wall, and I would slide my body into the little space between the bed and the wall, like just laying like this, and trying to hide from my dad so he wouldn't make me go to school.
That's pretty genius.
But it obviously...
Like they'd forget they had a kid that needed to be sent to school. Oh, we can't find her today, so I guess we're not going to send her to school.
So I would sleep there. Like in the morning, you'd wake up and slide in there and fall asleep there. And then I would just wake up to my dad like spanking me or something. Like, get the fuck up. Yeah, I was a weirdo.
I don't know. That's not that weird. I can relate to that, so.
It's Batman Baby says, round's a shape too. Own that shit.
Agreed.
J. Bay Watts says to connect a controller to the PC. So I might
do you need to do that. I literally have an Xbox controller in this desk because I got into Project Stream on Google, which like you literally just go to Project Stream and all this. I don't know how much I'm allowed to talk about this. I have an NDA, but like you just click Project Stream. It opens a tab in your Google Chrome and then you're playing your fucking game like that. Like you don't have to download anything. It's not like a streaming service. You have to download. Everything works through Google Chrome. And I was just playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, like immediately. And I just plugged in my Xbox controller, and because this is a Microsoft computer, it was just instantly mapped to it. And I was like, cool. Like, I don't need to worry about, like, doing anything else. Like, it was so easy. And, like, when you were saying you have trouble with mouse and keyboard with a first-person shooter, which just makes you the weirdest Asian I've ever met, it's just like, just plug in a controller. You'll be good to go. And you have that Overwatch keyboard and everything, man. Oh.
What's cool about the Overwatch keyboard, if you guys don't have it, you guys should totally look into getting it if you really, 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 really like Overwatch, is because it comes with a setting for Overwatch already on it. This is totally like Nerd Chills Reborn right now. We're so sorry. But the keyboard literally lights up all the keys for your abilities. Yeah. So every other key on the keyboard will be dark except for your abilities. And so
it customizes it to each character you pick.
Yeah, it's so customized to every character that you want. And then your cooldowns so the abilities will be blue and your cooldowns will be red.
Until
it's ready to go again, it'll turn blue. And it's just the coolest keyboard.
What's really funny is when we were in Japan, we were hanging out with one of Robin's friends who lives out there. And we were walking around a Razer store, which is just a store that's like in a basement that's nothing but Razer products. And we saw that keyboard. And Robin was like, I really want this keyboard. Adam got me one that doesn't do any of this stuff for Christmas. And I was like, fuck, what? Excuse me? Like, I got you that exact keyboard. Have you never tried using it? And then I was so mad at her just ragging on me. Like, you didn't buy me the right thing. And this was in May. She had this keyboard for almost fucking 5.5 months. And then I didn't say anything until like a month ago when she still hadn't done anything with it. And I just like got under her computer and like went into the settings for it and changed it so that the keyboard was just rainbows and pulsating fucking stars everywhere. And she came home and she's like, what is this? I'm like, this is everything your keyboard's capable of doing, that you've not looked into any of it. And then she opened up Overwatch. She was like, oh my God. So Christmas gift finally kicked in 10 months after the fact. Just saying. Those are the moments where you're just like, ooh, do we really need to be doing this podcast? Because I could go for murdering a co-host right about now. So
yeah, but then you would have no podcast.
I know. So good for you. Don't two-tap me. I hate you so much.
Carly said, I once put a thermometer in my hot bowl of grits to convince my Nana that she had a fever. But once convinced my Nana that I had a fever. Once she saw that it was 200 degrees Fahrenheit, she kind of figured what was up.
I
think that's fucking hilarious.
I used to put my head in front of the exhaust port. I used to volunteer to do
What?
the dishes. Okay, listen to this. I used to volunteer to do the dishes because we used to have chores, either sweep the floors or do the dishes. And anytime I wanted to stay home the next day, I would volunteer to do the dishes. And I would talk about the fact that I didn't really feel that well, but I wouldn't play it up. I wouldn't ask to stay home from school. Then I'd wait. I played the long game when I was a kid. I'd wait for like an hour and a half for the dishes to be drying, and that exhaust port on the dishwasher be just kicking out all that steam, and I go put my fucking forehead in front of it and just wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. And by the time I couldn't take it anymore, where I thought my skin was going to melt off, then I go find one of my parents, and they'd be like, do I feel warm? Like, I don't think I'm sick, but I feel warm. And they'd like touch my head. They'd be like, you're burning up. Like, you're goddamn right I am.
You're such a sneak.
Price is Right tomorrow for Adam.
Oh my God, you're such a sneak.
Sleep till 10, wake up, watch Bob Barker. It worked a lot. Just saying. I hope my mom was watching right now, so she's like, that little fucking bastard.
I was never that smart. But if I told my mom I wasn't feeling well, she'd just be like, oh, okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, they'd be like, go to school. I'd have to be sick. Like by the time I got to senior year, I'd be like, I'm not going to school tomorrow. And they'd be like, why? And I'd be like, because I have A's and I get 10 absences before attendance fail. I don't have to give you a reason. It's like having PTO. Like, I'm taking the fucking day.
I feel like they weren't that strict for me.
That was not strict either. I had 10 days before we attendance failed. And like now I think those kids only have like 2 or 3. Because we missed being like a 5-star school or whatever because of attendance, because so many kids didn't make it in.
Huh,
so cool. Should we move on to the next one?
Yes. So my story goes. Wait, hold on. Let me see if there's a name. All right.
Give us a better transition.
So, the title of this email is Shadow Figure Fun.
I like this one already.
Sounds like bullshit.
It sounds like it's not going to...
No, sounds like it's just going to be a bunch of fear that I don't want.
Yeah, this doesn't sound like fun, but let's see what happens.
Hey, spooky friends.
Hello.
Hello.
You guys all say hello now, too. Yell wherever you are at the top of your lungs. Hello.
Everyone has to raise their hands like this.
You don't have to spirit bomb this. Just a hello will do.
Why not?
Okay, everyone raise your hands like Robin's doing, since most of you are listening and can't see what she's doing and she won't describe it.
Dude, if we just have a picture chain of everyone fucking holding their hands up like a spirit bomb, oh my God.
Hashtag.
I'd be so excited.
Hashtag hello spirit bomb. There you go.
Oh,
if you want to take a picture of you guys with your arms up, and I don't know how you can pull that off if you're taking a selfie because you're using both your arms, but that's your hashtag so we can see it. So, fun.
All right, so hello, spooky friends. I am a pretty new listener from Spotify and love the podcast. You guys always make me laugh, and I love your positivity. I always love listening at work and in car rides home, and I love being able to agree with y'all on the stories I hear. Fuck that shit.
Wow.
Anywho, I wanted to share something my husband experienced a few weeks ago. I'll preface this by saying he works night shifts during the week, 4 a.m. to 2 a.m. What?
Probably 4 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Or 4 p.m. to 2 a.m.
That could work too.
4
Yeah,
p.m.
that
to
makes
2
more
a.m.
sense.
And I work days, 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. So you guessed it, we never see each other during the week. That sucks. Dude, I remember when you were like getting up and going to work before I was, and then it was like,
I was getting up at like 3:30 or 4 a.m. I started work, and they told us during training, like, hey, everyone has to take a 50-question test, and whoever does the best gets first bid on the schedules when they come up for the newbies. And so I was like, I'm acing that fucking test. I got a 49 out of 50, missed one question, got the best score in the class. The bids came out, we all put in, and then they came back and they're like, we've decided, this should have been a signal for me that this job wasn't going to go well. They're like, we've decided that instead of doing it that way, we're just going to put you guys wherever we need you based off of what team you're on. And so I went from I went from having like the choicest pick of schedules to 5 a.m. to 2 p.m. That's what I got scheduled. So I would get up and go to work, and the fucking moon would be out, and I'd be driving in with my headlights on. I was like, this is horseshit.
So you aced the test at work to get your schedule, but you still don't have a new license yet?
What?
You aced the test to get your choice of schedule.
Yes.
But you still don't have a new license.
What do you mean new license?
The new driver's license.
I still don't have it. That was 3.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Why are you bringing the license up?
Because you can't pass the exam on the first try.
What are you talking about?
For the driver's license.
Okay, cool. Thank you for bringing this up. This has been horribly embarrassing. Yes, I get 39 out of 50 on the driver's license things because I don't study. So good fun times, Robin. Thank you one more time. I drive with a license from Arizona because I'm a moron. You feel better now? Good. Keep going. Let me find something to talk about with you. Robin's poops take 45 minutes in the morning because she just gets up, sits on the toilet, and gets on her fucking phone. How do you feel now? Where's the dirty laundry? Let's air all of it out right now. You're a horrible person.
You're a horrible
Sip your coffee. I hope it's the poop coffee. We got poop coffee from Vietnam.
Yeah, we
It's
did.
coffee made from shit.
No, it's coffee beans that a weasel's eaten and shit out.
So I'm 100% right.
We never see each other during the week. I wish we never saw each other during the week.
I wish I never saw you at all. Fuck you.
It was shit. I can't read. My eyes are too tiny because I'm Asian. Okay.
Wow.
It was really hard for me when we first started this job because I had never lived by myself before, and I would freak myself out every night and not get enough sleep most nights.
That sucks.
I had to go to counseling for a few months because of it, and after 8 months, I'm finally getting used to it. We also finally got a puppy. Oh, that's cute. To help me with the loneliness and to help keep my mind off of worrying about intruders, ghosts, etc. And he is the best omen baby as he is a corgi and is the most cute photogenic baby.
I wish our corgi would take pictures. As soon as you point a camera at our corgi, she is gone and she shakes the whole way. So if you get a picture of her, it's just blurry.
Yeah.
She can't stand
really hard
having
to
her
take
picture taken.
Anywho, back to the story. Thursday night a few weeks ago, my husband calls me from work around 10 p.m. when I go to bed, and he apologized for the night before in waking me up. You didn't wake me up. What are you talking about? I asked. I woke you up last night, he restated. I got scared and was pretty loud about it. Why were you scared? He paused and said, I got home early around 2 and went to bed around 2:30 and woke up around 3:30.
Witching hour.
Oh my God. I saw a shadow figure in the room with us and sat up and shouted.
What the fuck?
You rolled over towards me and asked, what's wrong with you? And rolled back over and went back to sleep. I looked back over in its direction and it wasn't there anymore. Of course, now that I'm fucking about to fall asleep, I yelled, why'd you tell me that?
So the husband waited until the wife's about to fall asleep
to say
to be
that
like,
he
I saw a shadow figure last
yesterday.
night.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
I didn't sleep well for a few more nights.
Just a few?
That Saturday morning, he revealed to me that he's seen shadow figures before in his life. And I asked him if it was potentially sleep paralysis, and he said he was able to move just fine. So, no. Now I just have the fan on full speed with night lights and the radio on when I go to bed so I can see what's going on in the room at all times and so I don't freak out in the silence. Thanks for being awesome and keeping up the great work on the podcast. Keep on creeping, Lauren. Thank you so much for your
I appreciate
story.
that one, Lauren.
That's
that is
so creepy.
It's creepy
so
and it's
mean
hilarious.
For him to hold out till she's about to go to sleep again.
Yeah, just FYI, because you were a dick to me last night in the middle of the night when I saw my shadow figure. It's there with you now.
Oh
Click.
my God.
That's a solid way to handle that. I appreciate that.
Well, I mean, technically, I guess because they don't get to meet up. You know, they meet up to when one or the other are going to sleep.
Yeah.
So it's like they don't really get the chance to talk, and so he got the opportunity, and he's like, I need to tell you this.
I will say, too, if he's saying that he's seen shadow figures throughout his life, then it's probably a good thing for you to find another husband. I'm not a new one. You can just, get a second one and then just see if that one works out and then move on if you need to. I'm fucking kidding. Please don't do that. I don't condone that.
I'm like, I don't even know what to tell you right
Broken
now.
husband, please throw away. Not really. I would be really interested to get some of the stories from your husband, though, about his shadow figure experience, because that seems like a story. It really does. So, right on. Let's take a break and look over into Stream Chat and see what you guys had to say. I'm interested to see if you had any comments when Robin decided to bust me out for no reason, because that was just weird. She's like, you still don't have a license? Fuck you.
Okay, so.
Glitch Grim says, don't do it, Adam. I got into trouble from ID Soft. LOL. That's when I was talking about my NDA, I'm sure. I don't know if I read this one yet. Brittany White says, haha, my husband has a butt-touching demon, too.
Oh, my God.
That's hilarious.
Okay, so I like to do the one scoop and be like, oops, and then scoop the other cheek and be like, 2 scoops of oops.
She does it all the time. Like all the time.
Okay. So let's see. Amber says, no joke, my mom would come into my room every morning and ask me if I wanted to go to school. That's the coolest mom. My parents would, Nathan C says, my parents would leave for work before I went to school. So I wait till they left, then went back to bed.
Kaylee over on YouTube says, I always got away with staying home by pretending to be sick to my stomach because my dad does not do puke.
That's hilarious.
You used it against him. I like that.
Glitch says, praise the sun. And Trip7 says, take my energy for Spirit Bomb. Oh, everybody has the cutest, like, little emote things.
Yeah. David Collins over on YouTube says, goodbye. Then he goes, did I do that wrong? Because we were telling him to say hello. Nailed it. I like the way you did it better. Kaylee said hello in all caps, and then hashtag hello Spirit Bomb. I like to see people are buying into this thing. You know what we should do? At every, like, Spooky Friends meetup we have, we should all do a fucking Spirit Bomb together.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Get it? Spirit Bomb? Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yep. There you go. Hopefully Funimation doesn't sue me for that. They like to sue people for pretty much everything.
Carly says, oh my god, I got kicked off of Twitch for a second, came back, screen was frozen on Robin with her head thrown back, and she straight up looked like a headless podcaster for a minute.
That's
there.
hilarious.
Let's see. Glitch says, I don't like shadow people. If mine's here, this story and fucks me with the emails. I can't read.
It's okay. Kaylee says, dude, my new DL has been MIA for 4 months. Thanks, MN. Hashtag thanks, MN. What else do we got?
Oh my god, Trip7. What if Adam's sleeping paralysis demons is a huge bar of Hershey's white chocolate?
I would, like, just free my hand up just enough and be like, you suck.
You're so stupid. You just be like Keanu Reeves at the end of Constantine, like,
yeah,
yeah.
I could do that. I think I could pull that off.
Oh my god. Okay, your turn.
No, there's still more. There's so much more left in the Twitch chat, or there's not. I don't know. So okay, I guess I will move on. Fudge you guys. All right, I'm gonna mark that. So I guess I'll move on to I think this is my second of the night, my second proper story of the night. And this one's subject is astral projection and sleep paralysis.
I don't like it.
I like it so far.
I like the way you work it.
Yeah, I hate you so much. So this one starts out, no diggity.
Thank you.
In parentheses, PSA, definitely cool if you share on the podcast.
Awesome.
Cool. And it starts out like this. Hey, guys.
Hey.
Hello. My name is Cody. I'm 26 and I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I just started listening to your podcast at work last week. I heard about it from a friend who discovered you on, drumroll, you guessed it, Spotify. Shout out to Spotify.
Spotify is very popular.
It is.
It's just a very easy platform to use.
I'm not going to lie. I didn't ever used to use Spotify because I thought it was only for, like, Spotify. I thought it was only ever for finding music, and I'm like, I'm good. And then I started using it for podcasts, and I can go from, like, car to phone to PC, and it just keeps my progress across all the platforms. And I can just, like, pause an episode somewhere, go to another location, and just hit play. And iTunes doesn't do that shit. So I used to always have to look at my phone and be like, episode 46, 52 minutes in, and then go to my next thing and then change it unless I wanted to listen off my phone. Spotify makes it so much easier. So I understand why people use Spotify for pretty much everything. So thank you for listening on Spotify.
Yeah.
Getting back to this email. I love your show so fucking much, so please never stop podcasting.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate that. I started from the beginning and have listened up through episode 12 so far with the Aswang. Insert inappropriate laugh. Shout out, Adam. I did it correctly that time, too, so I didn't say Aswang. I'm just going to say Aswang because you corrected me.
Okay.
Even though I was trying. So this story happened to me in late 2015. I was working overnight, so my sleep schedule was weird because my wife's job all the time was at home as a nanny. So it wasn't the easiest to sleep with kids running around, but I slept where I could. In parentheses, the sleep schedule is important later. At this time in my life, I was really interested in spiritual practices such as meditation and using different stones pertinent to the 7 chakras and the visualization of yourself as energy. I've heard about the energy thing before, and we've heard about chakras before too. In parentheses, the same practices are used for those who try to make small objects move with their minds as an extension of themselves, or opening your third eye, etc. Okay, so this is going to get trippy
I like
here.
opening up your third eye.
Wow, that's weird and creepy and cool with me. Anyway,
Your whispering eye.
Your whispering eye. Anyway, sorry for all the side notes. That's okay. I do it constantly. So my interest was specifically astral projection, which correlates heavily with lucid dreaming, and I had been practicing for months and never really gotten results. So, and in parentheses, and this is where I made my mistake, little did I know. One night, while staying the weekend at my dad's house, I decided to watch a video on YouTube that would help people who were stuck not getting anywhere with astral projection, no matter how hard they would try, and the video was talking about the art of listening as a means to clear your mind. And as I'm listening to the video, I was able to do so, and the speaker starts to recap the steps on how to successfully project your soul. And I know this may sound fucking crazy as shit, in parentheses, feel free to skepticize. I just made my skeptic look to the camera, so I'll keep going. But as I'm listening to the steps, I naturally start to perform each step. And it was weird because I actually sat up from the couch I was laying on, but the moment I looked around the living room, it was so dark, and I immediately realized that it was strange because the lights were still on, and my wife was still in the room with my physical body.
Shut
and
up.
Now there was no light, and my wife was no longer on the couch with me. As me being a skeptical, I'm going to say, maybe you just fell asleep and you were dreaming. Because you were so into astral projection, your dream just instantly became the room that you were in. But I will continue with your story, keep my skeptic hat on and my grain of salt, but I'm not going to shit all over you. So I'm going to keep going. Not like that coffee that we got. I start noticing 3 separate humanistic figures that looked like they were made of white light, and it was weird because 2 of them seemed peaceful, like they meant no harm to me.
And then the other one isn't?
Which doesn't surprise me because through all the things I had read about astral projection, it mentions in multiple sources that you may find other, quote, travelers who are just other people also projecting. But the third entity was the furthest away, and it felt malicious. I can't really explain it, but the feeling was uneasy, like somehow the third figure wanted to hurt me or just didn't want me there. Then I saw it moving towards me very slowly, and I knew I had to nope the fuck out of there.
No.
When I turned around, this one's long. Holy shit. I'm trying to line this up. All right, sorry for the dead air, folks. This stupid email doesn't want to cooperate with me. I don't have a mouse. I hate my life. When I turned around, I could literally see myself on the couch, and I know at this point I probably sound even crazier, kind of. But believe me when I say that I was fully aware when this all went down, and what I saw was very real. I feel like it was an innate sense that that when I saw myself, I laid back down into my body in the same position and immediately came to, gasping for air and literally in tears, and scared my wife awake. Holy shit. I told her about it and she believed me, and also I got grounded from ever doing astral projection again, in parentheses for any guy whose wife wears the pants. You understand being grounded in your adulthood. I don't think I've ever been grounded. I've just been told, like, no. Like, that's happened.
Like what?
I don't know. Like everything that brings me joy. Which was cool because I was freaked out anyways. For the next solid month, I would try to go to sleep in the living room. I feel a stare on me right now. I would try
You're going to feel a fist on you in a second.
I would try to sleep in the living room at home during the day, and every time I would start lucid dreaming and see a dark, shadowy figure in my hallway, which was just like the one from my experience, except it wasn't white light, and I kept getting the same malicious feeling from before. The dreams kept getting worse with each day, and for the last 2 weeks of this, I would enter sleep paralysis and literally wake up after seeing this entity but not being able to move my body. Dude. When I woke up for around 15 to 20 seconds. What if it followed him
back through the astral plane? Like, what the fuck?
It sounds like you saw something and that something was like, ooh, like that thing saw me. I don't fucking like it. I'm going to fuck with that thing. And I don't know the rules to astral projection. So maybe he set an alarm where every time you log in it pops up and it's like, so-and-so has logged into astral projection.
Oh my God.
15 to 20 seconds when they woke up was paralyzed, which feels like forever when you're trying so hard to move your body but can't. I totally agree. Every time I saw the shadowy figure in my lucid dreams for the last couple weeks of this, it got a little further down my hall towards the living room where I was, and it would feel like I couldn't breathe more and more as it drew closer.
What the fuck?
For the last few days, I tried to avoid falling asleep. This is like some Freddy Krueger shit.
I have like so much anxiety right now. My heart's starting to like get like super tight.
Just
like,
imagine it. Like you're super terrified. You're trying to stay awake. And you know what happens to people who are tired that are trying to stay awake?
Fall asleep.
You fucking fall asleep. So I would still find myself dozing off, and it was worse until the last time this happened. It was standing right in front of me, and I felt like I was awake but asleep at the same time because my eyes felt open and I could see my wife and the kids, but I couldn't move or talk.
What the fuck?
And did it sit down into your body? And then your body woke up and you're writing this from the astral dimension? Because that would be a pretty fucking cool ending. I'm just saying.
Shut up.
They didn't know I was awake, so I'm just silently panicking and freaking the fuck out due to sleep paralysis and can't get anyone's attention.
Oh, man.
I couldn't breathe at all, and the figure leaned closer to me, and I struggled to move until I finally regained mobility just in time and practically jumped up yelling, and it was suddenly gone, but I definitely spooked my wife.
Dude, what the fuck?
That's super creepy. Since that day, I haven't seen that entity or practiced astral projection again. LOL. No shit, man.
Big old noops.
But I also never really talked to anyone about what I saw during that month in my lucid dreams because my wife is super freaked out by that sort of thing, and I didn't want to scare her, and I felt like anyone else would just write me off as bullshittery, but I wanted to share with you guys. I appreciate you sending that, and even though I'm skeptical, like you said you were skeptical, like I don't want to make you feel like I don't believe you. It is just an incredible story. So I hope my grammar is okay. It's actually really good. And thank you guys so much again for listening and doing such a kick-ass podcast. I have other stories that are more ghost-like than this one if you want them in the near future. We do. Sorry this email is so long. Oh, and Robin, I grew up with The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody on TV, as well as Zaboomafoo with Chris and Martin Kratt, so I can attest to their existence. Sorry, Adam. What you did was you astral projected into a land of bullshit that Robin and her sister have created, and then you heard this song and heard the words Zaboomafoo, and then you came back and you're like, it's real.
Seriously, the kids from The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, one of them is in that new Riverdale show.
Those are the twins from Big Daddy, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. That's all I know them from. I've never watched The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody.
It was pretty sweet.
Was it?
Get it?
You. Yeah, I got it. Everyone fucking got it. Thanks, Robin.
Okay.
Right on. That was really good. Thank you for sending that in, Cody. We really appreciate
much.
it. Do not be deterred by the fact that I'm just slightly skeptical, and I just wanted to go through it and think what might have been happening at the same time, because that shit is fucking crazy. That shit is bananas. B-A-N-A-N-A-S. Don't kill me. I just had to do that. So, cool. Let's take a quick break and look over into our stream chat and see what you guys thought.
All right. Yes, Glitch, you need to get this new Overwatch keyboard. It is sick. Okay. Yeah. And welcome, Girl Panic, for joining us. Let's see. Spare fur. Yay! I said Aswang correctly.
Yay! I tried. So
Aswang. Carly says, another podcast I listened to recently did the Aswang, and to be honest, did not do it justice compared to this podcast's episode. Thank you. That's very sweet. Makes us really happy to know that we did a good job.
I don't want to fuck up a cryptid from someone else's culture. You know what I mean? I don't want to do that. And I know I butcher the pronunciations, but I figure at the very least that I can just do as much research as possible before I decide that I'm going to talk to anyone about it. So I hope we do that. Because we haven't really gotten many emails where people are like, hey, you covered this topic, it fucking sucked. Like, we haven't, and I hope we don't get anything like that.
Yeah.
So you guys have been really supportive, and just usually you suggest, like, hey, you guys should do this also. Like, one of my friends, like, he told me he was listening, and when one of your friends says they're listening, it's a nice enough gesture that they said that, where you're like, cool, man, I appreciate it. But you never really know if they are. And I did, this past week, I did the bloop, and he was familiar with the bloop. So, like, right when I woke up, I was, like, just going through my motions, going through my phone's notifications, and he texted me. And he's like, dude, you did the bloop. As a follow-up, you should do this or this. And I was like, he actually is listening. Oh, he loves me. So it was really nice.
Yeah,
we always
really
like getting feedback from you guys, whether or not we know you or, like, you're just a spooky friend out there who wants to tell us, like, hey, you guys should try and cover this.
Yeah, your feedback in the episode discussions room in the Discord is
very
like,
helpful.
It's very helpful. It's very nice. We love getting topic suggestions.
There's a lot of times where you're like, I don't even know what to do this week. And then we check the topic suggestions, and they really do help out a lot. So I see down here, 777 says, Robin, quote, you're going to get a fist in you, Grace. Wow. That's so appropriate. That's not what I had in mind.
Okay. La, 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 la. I'm at the end. My turn to read a story.
Well, we're not done yet. The Snark says, go there and fuck that entity up. Like, if I wasn't good enough in my astral projection ways, I don't know if I'd be confident in my abilities to just go in there and like start something. But maybe if you go in there and you decide like you see something that scares you and you're like, I'm gonna fucking like fight back, then that becomes like a bad trip.
What
so
if
to speak,
the astral
for someone
plane
else.
though is more like Green Lantern, where you could just make whatever the fuck you want as long as your mind can imagine it?
I know the Snark is going to get this, but I always, when I think of astral projection, I think of the dream state that you can go into in Wheel of Time, which okay, I don't want to spoil anything, but basically there's two groups of people that use like astral projection, and they don't realize they're sharing the same plane until they run into each other like 11 books in, like maybe 12 books in.
It's a lot of books.
Where they're like, how the fuck are you here? And they're like, how the fuck are you here? And one of them tries to use their like exactly like that, where you can will stuff into being, and then they realize the other person's much stronger than they are because they've been doing it right the whole time, and they're like, how the fuck did you do that? Super cool series. That book pays off in every way. Cool. I'm gonna keep scrolling. I see Kaylee down here says, however, every time I think of a scary situation, I also think I better go Facebook Live because Adam says so.
That's cute.
Okay, it's not just that I say so. I think you have a better chance of surviving if something thinks it could be seen.
Right.
And if you're sharing it on Facebook, they'll be like, I'll get them the next time they forget.
Well, it's like the angels in Doctor Who.
Because you're looking at them? You mean like
no, because they
can't
move. Yeah, the weeping angels can't move. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But an image of an angel becomes an angel, so that's probably not the best example because they would be fucking everywhere if you went Facebook Live. Just saying. Yeah, boom. Doctor Who knowledge. Suck
wow. One-ups, huh?
Was that podcast Myths and Legends is what the Snark says. Carly says, nope. There's a lot of these podcasts out there now, and I try and not look at the reviews or ratings for anyone else because I don't want to compare our success to anyone else's success because everyone does it in a different way. Everyone has a different group of people, and everyone grows their fan base differently. But whether or not people have more reviews or more ratings than we do, I am very proud of our content, and I absolutely fucking love our community.
I don't want to get discouraged.
Yeah.
That's my thing, is like if I see something else and I feel like I'm not up to that level, I'll be very discouraged. And I'm the type of person that kind of shuts down. I'm like, I don't want to do it anymore. So
yeah, we're not going to get there because you guys are so encouraging. We're just going to keep going.
Yep. Okay, so this one's title is Ghost Hunting Not Going as Planned.
Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs.
Whoa.
Do you have some SpaghettiOs, Robin? Because they have some uh-oh. Yeah, turn that into a fucking button. Nailed that shit.
That was horrible.
That was amazing. Fudge ya.
Oh
Hashtag fudge ya.
No, you're... Just shut your mouth.
Don't touch me.
Shut your mouth. Okay, so, hello, Robin and Adam. Hello.
Hello.
My name is Jordan, and before I share my story, I would just like to say thank you so much for your guys' podcast and all that you guys do. I found your podcast on Spotify the night my boyfriend broke up with me.
Aww.
What a dickhead.
Fuck him. Unless you guys are back together, in which case I'm glad you guys got back together.
The night before my final exam for EMT school.
Why would you do that to someone then? That's the worst thing ever.
What an asshole. Lo and behold, I passed. Fuck him.
Nailed it.
And I just want to thank you guys for the help. Oh, that makes us very happy.
Yeah, it does. I don't think we provided any EMT information to you, so I'm glad we were able to distract you.
I'm sure it's just like distraction.
Yeah.
But we're very glad you passed your exam for EMT school and hope you can save lives one day. Now, I love ghost stories and everything scary-ish, but just like Adam, I am very skeptical and want to try to find proof of ghosts and demons. I'm good with not finding the proof, dude.
I don't mind like finding someone else's findings. Like they've proved it, and I didn't have to do anything because that's terrifying.
My friends and I love going to haunted areas and to try and see if we can find something. One night, we went down to a town called Murrieta, where there is a reported haunted mill.
This is California. I'm pretty fucking sure.
Really?
I think I've heard of this. I'm so excited to hear this story now.
How did you hear from it before?
At work, actually.
Oh,
because I used to do Southern California and Hawaii. So.
Oh, cool. It is said that there is a little girl that died there in a fire, and you can now see her at the very top of the tower at night when the moon is out.
Wow.
So there was a few of us that all got into one car. Marissa was driving. I was in the passenger seat.
Oh, Marissa, you crazy bitch.
I was in the passenger seat, and Danielle, Aisha, and Alda were in the back. When we got there, we noticed that there was no moon out that night, so it was very dark and very spooky. It was probably around midnight by the time we got there and tried to be quiet because there were so many houses next to the old building. Due to the fact that there were incidents with the homeless staying in the building and some vandalizing on the lower floor, the building became fenced off because it was private property. We looked for a way in and found a hole in the fence. The girls.
It always happens. Like, if you try and put up a fence to keep people out,
people are always going to cut holes.
I used to work at a GameStop where, like, directly in front of it was a, like, Goodwill drop-off area where you can just go up and, like, drop your stuff into it. But, like, you couldn't get in there, you know? It was, like, a locked door, and it was just, like, an entrance slot. And I watched a homeless guy walk up to it, find a corner, kick it, like he was kicking the boards on it until he broke a hole in it. He ripped off a hole big enough for his arm to go in, and he kept reaching in there and taking clothes out. And I was standing there staring at it like, if that Goodwill fucking drop-off thing represented anything it was supposed to, he would be able to get those fucking clothes without having to kick a hole in it, and that wouldn't look like a crime right now. It's like, why else do people donate shit to Goodwill and the Salvation Army except to give it to people who need it in that situation?
But then they end up selling it at their stores.
And they sell it kind of fucking expensive, too. Like, we used to shop at Goodwill, and then I was like, this is not cheap, like, at all, dude. Like, some places are and some places are not. So when I was watching that, I was like, I'm not going to fucking call anyone. I don't give a shit. That dude needs those clothes.
But, I mean, the money, I think how those work is, like, the money is supposed to go to supporting. So I guess it just kind of depends. Anyway, where was I? Houses next to the old building.
Cake by the ocean.
Vandalizing. Okay, so the girls were scared to go in, so they stayed in the car, and I told Marissa to come with me. We both love all things supernatural.
Oh, Marissa, you crazy bitch. What? Why do you keep staring at me when I say
that?
It's fun to say.
So she came with a little persuasion. We walked through the opening of the fence, and as we got closer to the building, we looked up to the window where you would see the ghost girl and flashed our lights at the opening. Even though we didn't see the girl, we did see an owl. And right when that happened, at the end of the long, narrow street in front of the building, parked next to the trees that led to a dirt road, a car turned its lights on and turned on their brights, lighting up the darkness and blinding us. That is creepy.
It is, but it's probably another group of ghost hunters that are like, I'm not going to get snuck up on, and you just, like, flick your brights on, you know?
I guess. We thought it was a cop trying to catch us trespassing, but then the car started pulling out closer to us very slowly. So Marissa and I ran back to the car and started to leave. But then the car started to follow us, like riding our ass with the brights on, following us.
That's creepy.
That's super creepy. I can't even imagine.
I've caught kids TPing my house before and followed them on their bikes. It was actually not my house. It was my friend's house. We were staying the night. And the funniest thing is we came back. We were driving back to his house at like 2 a.m. because we were TPing someone's house. And we were pulling in, and there was kids TPing his house. And we're like, motherfuckers. And they got on their little bikes, and they tried to ride away, and we followed them. And this kid tried to, like jump into a ditch, but it was a deep ditch. And he fucking face planted and just ate shit so hard. And he got up, and he landed in, like, the sticker bushes that are back in the Midwest. And he was just fucking covered in stickers.
Oh, my God.
And he was just in our headlights, like, terrified, like, am I going to jail? And he was, like, picking stickers out. And we were just laughing so hard, and I rolled down the window, and I was like, hey, like, I'm proud of you for TPing, but don't TP our house, right? Like, keep it alive. And we just drove away.
What the fuck?
It's fucking just so funny.
You're so stupid.
I hadn't thought of that in a long time.
Okay, so we went into town, and by now, there was no one in sight. Because we were in Old Town Marietta, which when it's nighttime there has no one in sight. And might I add that this was a fucking massive truck. We were all freaking out and didn't know what to do. Danielle, who is a nice Christian girl, was getting mad.
Oh, Danielle, you crazy lady.
Was getting mad and said, let's pull over. And I quote, fuck these people up.
I think Danielle's the crazy bitch. I think I've had this backwards the whole time.
So, what the fuck?
This nice Christian girl that goes, let's pull over and fuck these people up.
By now, we're going 70 miles per hour through a small deserted town trying to lose whoever is chasing us. We turned a corner and pulled over in a small parking lot, turned our lights off, and tried to hide.
And got our guns out.
Oh, my God. Good call on Marissa because they drove past us and didn't spot us. That was an adrenaline rush because we were not expecting any of that. Yeah, I'm sure Danielle was just like, oh, man.
Danielle's taking her fucking knives out. I'm going to cut their eyes out and send them to their family to send a message.
What's in the box?
What's in the fucking box?
But this is when I had the fun idea to do exactly what that truck did. The girls loved that idea, and so we parked near the dirt road next to some trees and turned off our lights and waited.
You tried to pay it forward in the worst possible way. Like, someone fucked with me, so I'm going to fuck with someone else. The universe owes me one.
So there's an episode of, I'm watching the new Sabrina series on Netflix. And there is an episode that I got to where one of the characters gets into this, like, loop of he is doing an autopsy on himself, and then he like
Spoilers?
goes through. I know, sorry, spoilers. And then he goes through this whole thing, and he ends up being the body on the table that's getting autopsied by himself. So it was like this really crazy loop. And I feel like this is what's going on right now, where it's like they're making a loop of this whole instance.
Where it happens to someone, so you decide to do it to someone else.
Right. It was only 15 minutes we waited, and a small car with 2 girls came up. Oh,
Danielle's like, let's fucking ruin these bitches.
Oh, my God. They didn't go near the gate, but just looked at the building. And this was when we, quote unquote, attacked.
Oh, my God.
We turned our brights on and pulled up slowly to the car. The girls freaked out and went back into the car and drove off. We followed them all the way to the next town, and they pulled into an Albertsons parking lot and got out of the car. We noped the fuck out and went home. Oh my God, Danielle should have just been like, "We'll fuck you up.
We will end you."
Jeez. Okay, so pretty much that's what you do in a small town and want a cheap thrill. You fucking chase strangers in a car, I guess. Not exactly what was planned, but still fun. I have
sounds just like wholesome, all-American fun, just torturing other human beings.
I have actual ghost stories to share, and we'll send them in the future. But till then, thank you to the both of you, and stay spooky, Jordan.
Thank you for sending that in. That's fucking hilarious,
so
Jordan. I appreciate that one.
Hilarious.
That one's lighthearted and fancy-free, I dare say. And I wish I could have pulled some of that shit. That's smart, though. Like, you go to a local haunt, like a creepy place, and you wait for other people to show up, and then you just scare the shit out of them. And maybe, just maybe, some of the stuff that we've gotten in the past, like where creepy stuff happened to people when they showed up at a scary place, maybe that's what actually happened. So, you never know.
Yeah.
Right on. So let's take a break and look over into that stream chat and see what you guys had to say. Was that your third one or was that your second one?
That's my last one.
Okay, cool. Let's hope that it actually is this time, because sometimes we say that and it's not true.
Pretty sure it's my last one. I went a clickety-click through the list. So, shut up.
Kaylee over on YouTube says, new favorite saying, "Oh, Marissa, you crazy bitch." I like it.
Meadow says, I can't wait for the Wheel of Time TV series. Yeah,
I just hope they do it right. I can't wait to see the casting, because then I'll decide. Because, you have to nail a lot of characters in that. Like, the main 3, obviously, are Rand, Matt, and Perrin. They're all very different people. Like, Rand has to be that tortured hero who's just not so annoying that you don't want to watch it anymore. Perrin just needs to be a fucking buff hot guy that can grow a really scruffy beard. And Matt has to be super charming skinny guy that turns out to be a total fucking badass. Oh, God. It's such a good fucking series, because you think they're just stupid kids, and then you realize they all have these destinies that are just greater than themselves, and they all just, it's so fucking good, dude. I know some of you guys know what I'm talking about, but like book 3, when you realize like Matt's not a bitch, when he shows up at like this training grounds, and these fucking soldiers are training, and all he has is a stick, and he's like, let me put some money down on whether or not I can kick your ass. I was like, damn, that's some ballsy shit. Oh, God, it's so fucking cool.
Okay.
The series is amazing. It really is.
Kaylee, yes, we have done an episode on the Stanley Hotel.
Indeed, we have.
It's one of the earlier episodes. I think it doesn't literally say Stanley Hotel. I think it says.
I think it does.
It doesn't say The Shining?
I think it's the true stories behind The Shining and The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Okay.
I think that's what that one is. And if we get to 100 patrons, I'm pretty sure. If we get to 100 patrons, we're going to go stay a night at the Stanley Hotel.
And then record an episode from there or something.
Yeah, that's what I like to do. So we can get some fucking EVP shit going on in the background. That everyone seems to think happens in our episodes naturally. Sometimes we're moving around and Robin will lean back or reach over to grab something, and then she'll say something, and it won't catch on her microphone, but it'll barely catch. And sometimes I'll delete that, and sometimes I'm talking, and I can't take that audio out. And I think that's what happened recently when someone posted in this Spooky Friends group, and they were just like, was someone whispering in the background of this specific episode at this specific time? Pretty much always assume that's the case. I don't know what she's doing with my hand. So fun times. Your hands are really sweaty.
I know. I can't help it right now.
777 says, "Yup, Adam, there is haunted mills in Marietta." That's what I thought.
That's cool. Carly says, I have a 6-year-old and a twin 3-year-olds. I have SpaghettiOs, all the SpaghettiOs ever.
That's so funny. Glitchgrim says, "Scarish is my favorite, and Taz and Mabim Bam right under them." We agree on a lot of stuff, Glitch. I won't say that Scary-ish is up there because it's my podcast or our podcast, but I fucking love Taz and Mabim Bam. I just got to the new arc, Amnesty, for Taz, and I'm giving it a chance. It's not as good, but that's okay. It's still good enough.
Trip7 says Goodwill is a scam. I believe it.
I know there's a lot of charities out there like that are bullshit, and I don't know which ones are which anymore. So I try and donate as much as I can to like medical research type stuff. versus like and Make-A-Wish. I fucking love Make-A-Wish.
Carly said, Locks of Love takes donations and charges cancer patients an arm and a leg for the wigs.
That's fucked up.
That's
I gave them so much hair.
I've given so much hair too.
Wow.
That's super, super irritating. La, 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 la. If I knew how to make my own wigs, I would just be like, here, take this.
Carly also says, I had my hair down to the back of my knees in high school, chopped it to my shoulders and donated it. Never dyed or anything, and found out what they were charging patients for it and wanted to rage all over the place. I agree. I had my hair down to like the small of my back in college before I finally cut it. And when I donated it to Locks of Love. I had no idea. That's super fucking annoying. Glitch says, well, thank you, Robin. Glad I am not watching that, LOL.
Yeah, that I actually...
The queen of spoilers over here.
I actually really am enjoying Sabrina right now. I think it's really cute. It's nothing like Sabrina the Teenage Witch. So it's a little bit more creepy. But Missy from Doctor Who is in it.
Yeah.
And
I remember you saying that yesterday.
And I thought she died in the first episode. Spoilers, sorry. She's not dead.
Damn it, dude. Stop it. You just ruin things for everyone. You ever seen Star Wars? Vader's the dad.
His name's literally like...
Darth Father.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. We've all seen Pitch Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Anyway.
The Snark says, I have a LARP character named after two Wheel of Time named Perrin Silverbow. Like Perrin Golden Eyes, and then I think it's Brigitte. I forget the name.
What? For what?
They're two characters that are combined.
Oh.
Yeah, Perrin is one of the main characters. Brigitte?
I love Overwatch.
Carly says, when Matrim is not a bitch. Yes, Matt is just such a back and forth character, dude. The best thing about Wheel of Time is there's so many times where male characters are like, I need to rescue so-and-so, and then they show up and they're like, what the fuck are you doing here? You're ruining everything. I don't fucking need no man to come and save me. And then you realize, like, the guys are just bumbling fucking morons, and the girls are basically saving the world the whole fucking series. Dead serious. It's so fucking good. Like, and they all talk to each other like, I cannot stand how stupid these guys are. They always think we need to be saved, and we're the ones that are doing everything, and they really fucking are.
Who's the author?
Robert Jordan.
Okay.
And he picked Brandon Sanderson to finish because in the middle of his series, he found out he had an incurable blood disease, and he lived. They gave him like 18 months to live. I think he made it just to 18 months, and he died.
Wow.
He had like a Christmas where all of his family came over and his friends, and he told them the rest of what was going to happen in his series. And then he also told them that the first thing he ever wrote in that series was the final chapter, the epilogue of the entire series. So that was written by Robert Jordan. So when you finish that series and you have all those emotions swelling through you, you're like, and then the last thing you read is from a guy who gave his life to the series and died during it.
That's so sad, dude.
It's super emotional reading that fucking series. It's also 14 really long books. So
Trip7 says we need to stay at the hotel where Elisa Lam died as a Patreon goal.
Fuck that.
That's gonna be...
That place is a shithole.
Yeah.
I'm not staying there.
I don't really want to stay there, but hey, Yogendi, what's up? I don't want to stay there.
I don't want to stay there either.
We would have to have it be like some outlandish, stupid fucking goal for us to stay there, because so many horrible stories, and the fact that I have to book in advance if I want my own private
share
bathroom.
A bathroom? Yeah, fuck that, dude. Ugh. I will pee out the window if I have to share a bathroom. I've done worse things. What else is on here? The Snark says, Adam, how much did you cry? I cried a lot, dude. I cried a ton. Like the end of that.
Aw, bitch.
Fuck off. The end of that, the 14th book, there's a chapter at the end, I think I've mentioned this before, called The Last Battle, which is talked about from the beginning. It's a prophecy. It finally hits. It's called The Last Battle. The chapter's like 250 to 300 pages, maybe. And just fucking main characters that have been around since the first book are just dying left and right. And these either like completely meaningless deaths, because that's how war is, or these horribly tragic deaths. And like then you get to experience the other characters finding out that their friends have died. It's so good.
He's talking about the Wheel of Time series. I haven't read it myself yet. He's literally... Have you bought me one or two copies?
I bought you two copies of the Wheel of Time, the first one, which is called the Wheel of Time.
Why do I have two copies?
Because I let someone borrow
one of my
first copy.
Okay.
I don't remember who it was, which means we're never fucking getting it back, which is a bummer. But yeah. What up, Yogundi? I see that you said hi.
Okay, Spooky Duo. I gotta scoot off to bed.
Thank you for watching us, Kaylee. We
so much
appreciate
for
it.
joining us, and being one of our YouTube followers.
Keep on creeping on.
Yeah. All right. So your turn to read a story.
Oh, it's my turn, so you're done?
Yeah, I read my thing.
Okay, I just got to the bottom, so. Right on. I will get to my last one. I'm going to do the Robin cadence and the Robin hands. I also kind of like hiccuped right there. Okay, so I'm going to move into my last one for the night, and this one does not have a subject, and it just starts out like this. Yo, dogs. What's up?
Yo.
Did I spell that right? Yeah, I think you nailed it. Dawgz. That's how I would spell dogs. My name is Kelsey, and this is my second time writing into you, and I have a few more stories for you. The first few are much more lighthearted than the last. I hope you're sitting somewhere comfortable because this is going to be a long one. Hashtag sorry, not sorry.
Do you have water?
I do. Yeah, here you go. There you go. P.S. Yes, you can read these on the podcast. My grandpa on my mom's side passed away a couple years ago, and it hit us all really hard as it was very sudden. He was a healthy 76-year-old man, but he had a stroke early one morning, which triggered a brain bleed that they unfortunately couldn't go in and drain to relieve the pressure on his brain.
That sucks.
In parentheses, kind of gross, I know. Yeah, but that's just
that's
the
life.
reality of it, so that's okay. We have a kind of large family, and almost all of us were in his room in the ICU when he passed in his sleep. I still remember the exact time that it happened. In fact, my grandma stopped his watch at the moment he died and keeps it on display in a hutch in her house.
That is so sad.
That is super sad, man. Unless she's like, I don't know, super badass about it, where she's sad but she covers it with humor, where like she's meeting people like, hello, it's nice to meet you, this is my house, this is my hutch, this is the watch that I stopped when my husband died.
Oh my god.
Just to, like just toss that shit on people just to see how they react. I'll keep going. I currently live in Milwaukee, but was born and raised and still lived in Iowa at the time. Shout out to all you Iowa peeps. I should note,
what are they called?
Iowans? I don't know. I really honestly don't know. Yeah, let us know. Hashtag that. Actually, just tweet us. Don't hashtag it. Hashtag Adam and Robin are stupid. Please don't do that.
No, don't do that. Fuck, why do you say that out loud?
I'm going to mark that so I can edit that shit out. We don't want that coming back and haunting us later, except everyone watching on the live show is going to start using it like immediately.
No.
I should note that my sister lives in Boston and was the only one unable to make it back in time to see him before he died. She and I were talking a couple months ago, or a couple months after his funeral, and discovered we had both been having the same dream. We dreamt that the whole family was gathered at my grandparents' house just like we did for the major holidays. All of a sudden, in walks Grandpa in his heavy camouflage coat and John Deere baseball hat with a fishing pole and tackle box in hand as he used to like to fish. Aww. In the dream, it was as if he had merely been on a long trip somewhere, which is funny because he rarely left the Tri-County area, and was returning from said trip while the whole family was gathered. It was heartbreaking to wake up and realize that none of it was real. But the fact that we were both having the same dream while living 1,100 miles apart was pretty weird. Yeah, I would totally agree to that.
Weird.
In the last 2.5 years since he died, there have been several times that he's made his presence known to us. The first was actually at his funeral.
That's really cool.
We were all at the church for his service when the hearse broke down.
What?
The funeral home had a van that they used instead and decided not to charge my grandma for it. Yeah, I think that's the right decision to make in that case. There are two theories derived by my family as to why the hearse broke down. The first is that it was a Chevy and not a Ford, and being a longtime Ford fan, he refused to ride in it to the cemetery. That is fucking awesome. Hashtag brand loyalty. The other theory is that he was merely trying to save my grandma some money. That's super romantic.
Yeah.
Bonus, my uncle thought the casket was still in the back of the hearse when the tow truck came and to tow it away.
Man.
Dumbass. That's so mean. The next time was several days after his funeral. We were all at my grandma's house, sitting around talking and reminiscing, and suddenly the volume on the TV skyrocketed. Now my family is very loud, with 5 kids and their spouses and the dozen or so grandkids all talking over one another. This sounds like my family.
A dozen grandkids?
It takes a lot of noise to get us to shut up. As you can imagine, holidays are super fun because of this.
Okay.
The thing is, when Grandpa got home from the bars he frequented after work, he sat down in his chair with a beer and his dog Skippy, who is basically his best friend, and cranked up the volume on the TV so he could watch the 5 o'clock news.
That's hilarious.
Maybe the major and sudden increase in volume that afternoon was his way of getting our attention. That's what I like to think, at least. I think that's a really good way of looking at that. Especially since it's really weird when a TV turns its volume up on its own. There's an old saying that when you see a cardinal, it means a deceased loved one is watching over you. I've totally heard that before.
Really?
I think I've heard that from this podcast, in fact.
Okay.
2 years in a row now, a male and female cardinal have made a nest in the ash tree in my parents' front yard in plain sight of the living room window.
That's really cool.
I've also seen my grandpa, or maybe they're just two different men that look exactly like him, which seems fishy. One of those times was just yesterday. I was back at my parents' house in Iowa and standing in the driveway with my mom when a man drove by in a van that looked just like one my grandma used to have. When I glanced at the driver through the open window, I could have sworn it was my grandpa cruising by.
Wow.
Now for the nitty-gritty stuff, which is really more of a long story about why I appreciate you guys so much. Okay, so I guess we'll strap in. I hope this isn't horrible for you. It's for deeply personal reasons, but you can still absolutely share it on the podcast because I know this is a safe place. Although you may want to issue a trigger warning for anyone who suffers from extreme depression or suicidal thoughts because this shit gets very nasty. Also, maybe don't let Robin be the one to read this on air because she'll probably cry or get choked up at the very least.
Okay, go.
So I'm reading it, so we're okay. Here we go. So anyone who has triggers like that, just be forewarned. Feel free to skip ahead if need be. I am 26, but was first diagnosed with depression when I was about 14. I was a freshman in high school who self-harmed and was chucked into therapy when my mom noticed it. That is, by the way, incredibly common. Self-harm is 100% incredibly common. Yes. I had a class in college where someone admitted to it in a short story that they were writing, and we would read them out loud in a circle. And we read one out loud, and there was this much older lady who was in the class, and kudos to her for showing up and I think she actually wound up graduating that semester too.
Oh, wow.
But she was like, after the chick got done reading it, she was criticizing her for self-harming. And our professor stopped her. She's like, just so you know, like, I'm 60 years old, and I've self-harmed since I was 14. And she said, like, she still does it. And, like, her standing up for this chick was one of the coolest things I've ever seen in person because she made this other lady just shut the hell up.
Good.
So don't feel alone. I mean, I know that doesn't really fucking help, but just know that you're not weird or abnormal because that happens, because I've known a lot of people who do that. I've known a lot of guys who do that.
I've done it.
So let's just keep going here. I'm forever grateful for it despite my mom's initial reaction. She yelled a lot when we were kids, so when she found out I was cutting, her go-to reaction was anger. I've been in therapy on and off for 12 years now, and it's been incredibly helpful in keeping me sane and alive. When it comes to antidepressants, anyone who has been on them knows that it can be very hit or miss and up and down. Sometimes a certain combination of medications can work well for years until suddenly they don't. This is 100% true. I was doing fine until May of 2017. I had moved to Milwaukee for a job a few months prior and thought I was doing quite well. I couldn't tell you what triggered it, but for some reason my depression kicked in and slowly spiraled out of control over the course of the next several months. Over the summer, I began self-harming again, and for the first time in 11 years. It progressed over the next several months until the suicidal feelings came along. Luckily, I had one friend that I felt comfortable telling. He was able to keep me off the ledge for a while, but things continued to get worse until my anxiety and depression were so bad that I left work one day and drove myself to the ER because I felt so unsafe.
Wow.
It is so powerful that you could drive yourself there.
Yeah.
That is not something people can do.
It's a lot. It takes a lot to be like, okay, I need help now.
Yeah, it's such a strong thing to do. Yeah. Like, I can't emphasize that enough. So be very proud of yourself for that. We're proud of you for that. I was evaluated by a social worker who gave me information on outpatient treatment and cleared me to leave because she didn't think I was a danger to myself. She was wrong.
Oh, no.
The self-harm continued and the depression worsened. Okay. I was so anxious that I cut back my hours at work to part-time. I was so frustrated because nothing seemed to help. The meds weren't working. The self-harm wasn't providing the usual sense of relief. It didn't produce the same high as it had been, and it simply wasn't enough. It wasn't until I nearly downed an entire bottle of clonazepam, my anti-anxiety meds. Luckily, I had enough sense in me to reach out to my sister to distract me until the feelings went away. I quickly realized that was my rock bottom.
Oh my
In January, I reached out to my doctor who recommended a partial hospitalization program, which is basically the same as an inpatient psychiatric stay, except you get to go home at night. You experience the same care, structure, and schedule as you would in a psych ward. We set daily goals for ourselves. This is really, really awesome of you to share this, by the way. I'm very happy you sent this in because some people go through this shit and they feel so alone, and people don't like to share this stuff. We set daily goals for ourselves to manage our anxiety, depression, alcoholism, drug addiction, or any sort of mental illness we may have had. We had expressive therapy, aka art therapy, group therapy, which, as terrible and scary as it was at first, it was actually my favorite part. We practiced coping skills and stress management and had our meds monitored and altered by in-house psychiatrists. That group of people saved me. I realized that my job was exacerbating my anxiety in every way. I learned ways to decrease my anxiety and manage my depression until I found the right cocktail of medication to keep me in line. I had the tools to keep myself sane and safe.
That's good.
It's really good. It's nice to hear when this stuff works. It really is. Because a lot of people feel like it just doesn't work. Or when things are working and things stop working, it feels like you're lost again. And just knowing that there's a path back to it, no matter how far down you can go, is so important for people to hear. In May, I finally found a new job and did really well. As soon as I left my old job, my anxiety nearly vanished.
Good.
I had a really good run for about 2 months. Then the intrusive, depressing thoughts started creeping back in. I struggled to focus at work, spending my lunch breaks crying in my car and trying to watch something funny on Hulu, usually Bob's Burgers. Y'all should check that shit out. I fucking love Bob's Burgers.
So good.
To distract me and make me laugh. I spent all the time and I slept all the time and stopped keeping up with chores around my apartment. I've been terrified of relapsing and finding myself in a very dark place, and at times it's been debilitating. Enter Scary-ish. I had been listening to paranormal and true crime podcasts while I was at work, both of which are things I love. But they got a little dark sometimes, a little intense. Then I found you guys. I get to listen to some really well-researched tales of the paranormal with dozens of comedic side stories per episode.
Sorry, we have so many side tangents.
I really worry that we're going to drive people away with our tangents sometimes. You guys are completely hilarious and have had me shaking with silent laughter in my cubicle multiple times. Side note, Adam, your voice sounds so much like Dax Shepard's. It makes everything you say that much funnier because that dude is kind of hilarious. I know exactly who Dax Shepard is. I don't know if I sound like him. I've never compared my voice to his, though. I now find myself eagerly awaiting every new episode because I know it'll give me a good laugh. I'm almost through all of your episodes and will probably be listening to them once again after I finish because I just can't get enough. Well, thank you so much. And I'm really glad that it's something that can brighten up your day because
that I'm really glad we're not super obnoxious.
Yeah. We worry about that stuff.
I'm glad we're not super serious. I listen to lore and I absolutely love lore, but it's too serious for me sometimes, and I need that comedic element, so I go to My Favorite Murder because they do talk about true crime stuff, but they're both funny, and so
I'm glad we have a balance that you guys really appreciate and that you guys enjoy. So getting back to it, I'm not saying I'm completely cured. I still have depressive thoughts and continue to worry about relapsing to the dark place, but you make my workday so much better, and that's really huge for someone who has struggled with such intense depression and anxiety for as long as I have. I know you've heard it before, but your podcast is truly amazing, in parentheses, and definitely one of my faves.
We're very happy to hear that.
We are, and I can't even begin to tell you how much it means to me that you keep doing what you're doing. Please keep creeping on because it makes my life and the lives of so many others so much better. Thank you so much for being you and for doing what you do. I know we've never met, but I kind of low-key love you guys, and I think we would be great friends. I think so, too. Thank you for listening. Sincerely, your spooky friend, Kelsey. Bonus, Omen Baby, and they sent a picture of an adorable Omen Baby. This is my baby Frankie, and by baby, I mean my little old lady because she's 13, but you would never know it based on how she acts. Sometimes she looks like a supermodel, and sometimes she looks like a total derp. Also, she drools when she gets really excited. That's adorable.
It's
so
cute.
Fucking cute.
I hope our kids will have a pet that they grow up with, and they have for years and years and years. Oh, no, but then I'm thinking of it, and I'm just and then they're going to watch them die. Oh, fuck.
It's just a natural way you can learn to love something, and then it eventually will go. It's a good introduction to that. But that said, thank you so much, Kelsey, for reaching out to us with that story. I know how hard that must have been to write, and I really hate the fact that we have such a long backlog because you've probably been waiting for us to get to this and thought we might have forgotten about you.
Yeah.
Absolutely fucking not. Anyone who sent us anything, we're going to get to it. Don't think we're not. So thank you one more time for sending that in because that is extremely personal and it's going to be extremely important for someone to hear that. So I know you say we make your day better. You probably just made a lot of people's day better. So thank you for having the courage to send that in. We really, truly appreciate it. So let's see what you guys had to say over in Stream Chat about that one that was long and definitely intense.
Super intense. All right. So Cecil Hotel. Doop, 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 da doop, da doop. Blah, 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 blah. Okay.
Carly says, last pod on the left is one I cannot deal with.
Yeah.
She listens to it all the time. Every time I get in, I'm like, I get yelled at for swearing once or twice, and these dudes are just fucking constantly screaming.
Yeah. It's just a table full of dudes, so it's just going to be a lot different than other podcasts like MFM that you'll listen to. So it just depends. And it's definitely not for everyone. That's why there are so many different podcasts for so many different flavors.
I hate you so much.
It's true though. All right. I'm just skimming through. Sorry. All right.
That was gross. I totally heard you burp.
Ew, why you gotta call me out like that?
Because you burped into your microphone. I'm sure it registered for everyone else too.
I'm so sorry, everyone. La la la. Yeah, this one was definitely sad, definitely intense, and I'm at the bottom of the chat. So.
Right on. Anyone want to tag me when this is over? I try to avoid this particular trigger, so I'm turning the volume down. So hopefully someone let Carly know. You can type in there right now that we're done with that story.
She's already back.
Oh, cool. Well, I'm not at the bottom yet. So.
L2 read.
L2 blow me, so please don't hit me. Don't say anything either.
You're going to get a fist on you. Okay. But yeah. So that is our stories for today, right?
Yeah, I think that's just about everything. So you guys know what that means. You wonderful people that are watching us on the stream, we get to experience marbles on stream. It did update today, so if it doesn't work, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I haven't started it since I downloaded the update. So if it doesn't work, blame Robin. So go ahead and vamp a little bit while I go ahead and get this up and running.
I was going to try to make like vampire noises. Then I was like, wait, they talk like people. Get it vamp a little bit.
I hate you so very much. Sometimes this is definitely one of those times.
Yeah, I can't wait to see your super cute, adorable kitty when you get it, Amber. It'll be super adorbs.
This kitty that was definitely worth skipping our Spooky Friends meetup. Although I think I got to interrupt you FaceTiming with someone. I think you were FaceTiming with Jang Mi, and I was just like popping in the background like, hey, what's up? So
I just thought it was cool that when we went, it was like we got to ride a ride on our own in the beginning of the day. We got to go on Big Thunder on our own, and then we got to ride a Haunted Mansion with Sarah and Ryan, and then we got to go on. What did we go on? We met up with like 4 other people.
We did,
and did
Buzz Lightyear,
which we had never gone on before.
Ass at Buzz Lightyear.
I don't know how he always beats me in these games, because he beat me in Buzz Lightyear, and he also beat me in the Toy Story ride.
Twice. Once in Japan, once here. I'm the international champion. I'm the world champion of all time at Toy Story Mania, obviously. But yeah, so international and United States world champion. I hold all those titles, undefeated. So yeah, it's pretty fucking sweet, not gonna lie. Those are really fun too. But let's go ahead and get over to the game for you folks to play, and I'm sure Robin will join in because she doesn't like being left out.
Yay!
2 marbles on stream. Here we go. And of course, I finally got the camera working, and they moved everything around, so now I have to readjust this so you guys can actually see the names of these tracks, because as we figured out last time, you guys can actually vote on these things, and we can go from there. So let's see what's on there, and you guys can decide exactly which track we're going to use to start. And then I think if we do a second one, which we tend to do because we love you guys so much, then you guys can we'll pick one. How about that?
Well, can't they do the exclamation point vote?
That's literally the thing I just got done saying, was that they pick one, then we'll pick one. So there we go. Scooching this so you guys can see what's on there, and hopefully that looks good in the hood. So yeah. Exclamation point vote.
Thanks, Nate and C, for joining us.
And then the number as well. So that should work, and they should start racking up here.
Total votes says 3.
Yes, so they are.
4.
The votes are coming in, so that's good to see. And it's scrolling back and forth. It's also not really like stacking them like it should, but no big deal. So you guys figure out which track you want to race on, and then anyone in YouTube that wants to participate, go ahead and switch over to Twitch, because the voting process does not work on YouTube. It's silly and stupid, but that's the way it is. Excuse me, I hiccuped. And it looks like Alienated has 4 votes right now. We only have 7 votes in so far, so that is by far and away going to be the majority, because looks like all the other ones only have 1 vote. So a lot of stuff coming in for 34. Everyone likes Alienated. I think we can go ahead and say that Alienated is probably going to take this one. I'll let it scroll through one more time. We're going to get in there, and then you guys can all join in, and we'll go from there. So fun stuff. We hope you guys have enjoyed the show. And thank you guys so much for sticking around. We appreciate every one of you guys for coming out.
Seriously, and we're so glad you took the time out of your day to stop in, say hi, chat a bunch.
Yeah.
It's just really cool having you all part of our show.
It definitely is. Neat. So I'm happy that we were able to issue the trigger warning so that you guys didn't have to worry about like getting to, I don't know, into something that might have been hard for you guys to hear. So.
Ready?
It stopped scrolling, so...
Alienated it is.
Alienated it looks like it's going to be, but it has disappeared. There it is. Alienated number 34 wins with 5 votes. So we're going to go with Alienated. That's a cool looking track. Also scary because I hope you guys don't bounce around. So at this point, type in !play.
Yes, !play, and you will get a marble that gets put into the marble pegboard, apparently.
There we go. And you guys are starting to pour in. 143 AM has joined. What up, dog? Thank you for taking those pictures. Share them with us if you got them developed. What else do we have here?
Things are digital now, bro.
Okay, cool. Developed, uploaded, same thing. Fudge you. Way to make me feel old and like shit at the same time.
Oh, yeah, I gotta put myself in.
Oh, yeah, of course. You have to join.
What if I won?
I don't know. You'll have to decide what you're going to do if you win. So.
Did I get in?
Yeah, you're in. The Robin Grace has joined.
So how many do we have in
We have 15 in here right now. The number is actually right down here letting us know how many entries we have.
All right, cool.
So it looks like just about everyone that wants to join has joined. I'll give this about 10 more seconds, then I will start it, and you will have another 10 seconds to join in, and then we will race.
Yeah, so type !play and get in there.
Cool, so you have 10 seconds from this moment to join in. Last chance to join.
You're so
I am obnoxious as fuck. So let us see who wins this. Here we go. It has begun.
It is known.
Chessie Cat looks like she has just stopped on a dime. That is unfortunate. Mothboy Real Estate is challenging Robin, who shouldn't even be in here. They have gone different paths, and it's going to get a little bit weird because we've never done this track before. So on the right-hand side, it does say that Carly is leading right now. So we're following Mothboy Real Estate. We're going to jump over to Carly and see how that's going. Looks like Robin just took the lead as well. Man, this one is confusing.
You go Marvel.
And we can see on the other side, the Snark is taking the lead. Girl Panic 95 is in first place on the other side. Okay, Girl Panic and Meadows look like they're neck and neck right now. Pave Paradise has died. Meadows has also been eliminated. That's so sad. The Snark and Girl Panic are racing it out right now to the end. This is a really fun track because it's side by side. The Snark is in the lead. Girl Panic is trying to catch up. And here comes a very, I don't know. Oh, it's a lift. It's an airlift.
A lift?
Yes, like an elevator. Wow, this is neck and neck right now.
Amazing.
This is super cool.
This is a cool track.
So I'm tracking Girl Panic. I'm going to switch over to the Snarked and see where they're at. Zwazzles says it's in first place. I think Zwazzles might have fallen off the edge.
Oh,
no. No. I don't know what's going on. It doesn't know who's in first place right now. It looks to me like Girl Panic 95 is still competing with the Snark for first place, but this thing just can't figure out what the hell is going on. It's so painful. I can't get to the first place. Okay, the Snark is in first place. It says that now. He's coming up on the acceleration port. Zwazzles has died.
I just watched it go over the edge.
Girl Panic and the Snarked coming to the finish line. The Snarked has won. First place goes to the Snarked. Congratulations.
What? I got eliminated? What the fuck?
That's good, though, because fudge you. So the Snark, Girl Panic, Mothboy Real Estate, Jang Me, and 777 are our 1 through 5 finishers. We'll see who can finish out without dying. A lot of people are still getting knocked around in this thing.
Oh!
In fact, a bunch of people just fell out. That's weird.
Wow.
You already finished, so we're not going to say that disqualifies you, although how fucked up would that be if we decided to say that? Because Chessie Cat's the only one in there right now. And it looks like J-Bay Watt is the last person that's going to finish the track. Hopefully they don't die on the way. Let's click 9 here and see if it takes us there. Yeah, J-Bay Watt is going to live. Cool.
Nope, went straight through.
It counted, though. It marked it as finished. So congrats to the Snark. That one was super fucking fun. I really like the side-by-side aspect of that one.
Yeah.
So, all right.
All right, Uno Mas,
one more?
Yeah.
So this one we get to pick. I kind of feel like doing the same one, but some of you guys wanted to do a different one. So let me hit escape, main menu. Let's get back to picking a race here. Hopefully this works. Cool. Somehow this thing is super graphics intensive for my card.
Really?
For my laptop, I should say. Yeah, just like you can hear my fan going right now. It's just so funny because like it doesn't do this for anything like Overwatch.
Okay.
So if you guys want to vote, again, vote. That November donation goal is covering it up, so that's what's going on. So if you guys want to vote, ! Vote, then the number sign, then the number you want. So go ahead and vote one more time. It looks like it also works when you don't do the number sign. 777 voted for 13.
No, it's not. It's that pound sign there.
Oh, it's just representing what number it is.
I'm
dumb.
Vote space the number that you want.
That, what she said.
Don't listen to Adam. He's dumb.
You're so mean. You really are. And why are you mean?
You're precious.
Why though? I put why those on like everything now. So
Really?
Yep.
Hard landing. Oh, you might want to scroll through. It's not scrolling.
It says auto scroll tracks. I think it's because I moused over it. That's why. So cool. Good to know. All right. A lot of votes are pouring in. Everything's tied up at 2 except for the things that are at 1. So this one's going to be weird to pick, although we do get to pick it. So I guess we could be the tiebreaker. It's a long one, says the Snark, for number 4. Long ones are fun too, except long ones usually let you die faster, which sucks.
You're a long one.
Thank you. It's nice of you to say.
I'm curious how this new Grinch movie is going to be.
It looks cute. Benedict Cumberbatch is the voice of the Grinch, so I love Benedict Cumberbatch.
You're just a
every way. I am a Cumberbitch. In every way, shape, and form, I love Cumberbitch. Scared Straight is a really good one. That's a good name for a racetrack for the show. Multi-Lane Madness sounds fun as well. Hard Landing. Those are the ones that are all tied, so I think we're going to have to make the decision and be the tiebreaker, Robin. What are you thinking?
The record holder is Naruto 587 for Scared Straight.
Is that one just calling to you now?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe Scared Straight will be the one that we're going to have to do then. And if anyone didn't get theirs picked, blame Robin.
What is the other emote that I drew?
I don't know. I'm going to concentrate on marbles on stream right now.
Oh, sorry. I just found it.
All right, we're going to go with Scared Straight. So here we go. We're jumping into the map. Once this is up, it's going to be !play to join in. So go ahead and type that in. All right, meow. That includes you, Robin.
Oh, cool. Oh, man. I think the marble game's like my favorite part.
Of doing the show?
Yeah, it's just
I don't know.
fun.
I really like the stories, so I love it when they get sent in. I don't know. Sometimes the stories that we get are like amazing, and sometimes they're just like people sharing their experiences. So I don't know. I appreciate the fact that people participate so much that we get to have a Storytime episode every week.
Yeah.
And we have 39 straight weeks, which is incredible. Like, that's amazing. So we have 14 people right now joined in. What the hell is this booby trap having ass? I don't know. It looks kind of terrifying. I have a feeling a lot of people are going to die. Jamie says, Robin, I'm blaming you now.
Blame Naruto.
Wow. Yeah, because that makes sense. 777 has joined, so we got 15 in here. So I'm going to give you guys 10 more seconds, and I'm going to click start, and then we're going to go. Wild Cali Washu has joined. 16 people are now here.
Yay! !play, everyone.
Jamie says, fuck Naruto in all caps. Clicking start now. So if you haven't joined yet, !play to get yourself in on this. Otherwise, you're going to miss out. All right, we have 3 seconds, 2 and 1. Here we go. Let's watch everyone fall through. Chessy Cat it appears Chessy Cat has made it through. So is the Snark. Jamie is right there too. So all that shit talking, Jamie, didn't need to happen. But apparently you're in the lead right now. But we know how fast that can change.
What? Oh, man.
There's a lot of lanes
tracks.
here. Holy God.
I totally thought people were falling off the other side.
I did too. So Jamie, it's just a big clusterfuck at the front now. So I'm not going to say who's in the lead. Although it does look like Meadows.
Man.
People are getting knocked around. Jamie has been murdered.
No.
She can officially blame Robin for this.
No.
Girl Panic 95 is in the lead. Going through this gauntlet. This thing is just dangerous. Look at all these balls trying to make it through.
I can see why. Oh!
Meadows has died. 143 AM has taken the lead. Jamie's probably pissed about that.
Oh, man.
Looks like they're safe right now. They're not looking like they're going to fly off the edge. They missed the jump, though. That is not going to help them in the long run.
I just see a whole bunch of
Akasuna has died. The Snark has been eliminated, so no back-to-back victories for the Snark. 143M has taken a pretty good line. Oh, man, that's stressful. That area is just fucked up.
777 Sid got Rasengan.
Chessy Cat 98, the Robin Grace, third place. Zwazzles has just died. This one is just super stressful.
This is really cool, though. I think this is one of my favorite tracks.
This one's not bad. I won't lie. So the Robin Grace, Chessy Cat 98, and 143AM have all taken the same line to get through this track. They're just cruising through this together. 143AM is still in the lead. This will determine who's going to win this. I really feel that way because I can see the end at the very front. It looks like 143M is just going to sneak. Carly has taken the lead. J-Bay Watt and Girl Panic 95. J-Bay Watt looks like they might have this in the bag as long as they can avoid all of these different things. They ran into 2 cones.
Wow.
Girl Panic 95 in the end takes the win. that is unfucking believable.
Steal.
Yeah, that was crazy. Man. That was a good ending. Girl Panic 95, congratulations. Okay, so if you would like to claim your prize, which are going to be some stickers, you can go ahead and reach out to us via email. Is that right?
Email us your mailing address. And
Storytime@scarish.com. Give us your mailing address. We'll reach out to you and let you know we've got it, and we're going to send you some fun stuff along the way. The Robin Grace just finished. I can't believe you didn't get killed. And Wild Callie is still up there in the track, but has not died yet. That's a good thing. And we'll let this finish out, and then we're going to wrap up the show. Mothboy says GG. It was a GG. That was a really good race. That was very enjoyable.
Anytime I hear CGG, that's how I hear GG in my head.
That's good.
It's like,
it's
I don't know if you, if you guys have never watched like pro gaming, like tournaments, like at the end of games when they yell GG is like the most intense part of the whole time. That's
very true. It's very true. So, right on. Thank you guys for switching over to Twitch and staying in Twitch the entire night. I hope my neighbors heard me. That's so fucking funny. All right. So you want to just do the sign out? I'll just do the wrap up, and then you can jump in there with the money stuff, and then we can go from there.
Sure.
Kind of how we typically do it. All right. Let me mark this, and then we'll just do the transition. So one last time, I want to say thank you to everyone who sent in their emails. We really appreciate everyone that joined us in the Twitch chat, in the YouTube channel as well. That you guys are fantastic. It's so fun to interact with you during the show. And one more time, if you guys have something that you want to send to us and share with us, you can reach out to us via email, and that email address is storytime@scarish.com. You can also go to facebook.com/scarishpodcast and message us. Please like our page. You can also join the group on Facebook from that page, and it's the Scarish Spooky Friends group. If you want to post your story there, go for it. Get some instant feedback. You can also join our Discord server. Best way to do that, go to scarish.com. Scroll down on the right-hand side. It says, join us on Discord. Click that, and you will be right there. You can also talk to us on Instagram @ScarishPodcast, or you can tweet at us @ScarishPod.
Cool. And don't forget, we do have a Patreon, patreon.com/ScarishPodcast. We are really close to going to the Winchester.
This is true.
We need, 17 more? 17 more patrons.
I think 16. I think we got up to 34.
Oh,
so
nice.
We fluctuated a lot when Patreon hit that issue where it wasn't paying anyone out, and then it just started getting rid of patrons. So we've been kind of stuck, and it kind of sucks because it's literally as low as $1 a month. And you can force us to go to someplace spooky and see Robin's reaction and come out and hang out with us.
That's, I think, my favorite part is meeting up with everyone and just chilling, maybe having dinner. Just
Who knows?
Getting to know everyone.
Maybe getting possessed, maybe getting kidnapped by ghosts, maybe getting murdered. You don't know what's going to happen at the Winchester house. So just saying.
I just watched the BuzzFeed Unsolved where they go back to the Winchester house, and it's great. It's
cool.
Amazing. But yeah, so go there. There's Ko-fi, ko-fi.com/scarishpodcast. That any donations on that platform is going to go to helping us upgrade our studio setup. And
we are very close to being able to upgrade our camera setup, which I am desperately in need of. I mean, honestly, this works for now, and it doesn't look too bad, but I would really like to have something consistent. And this poor little GoPro Hero 4 has just been powering through so many episodes, and we appreciate it so much. And we'll probably take it with us when we go to the Winchester Mansion to capture some footage with a selfie stick. I know we're going to be those people, but hey, whatever you got to do, right? I mean, it'll be really, really fun. So if you guys want to go become patrons and donate to us on Ko-fi, we appreciate that. If you guys can't donate to us, we totally understand. Leave a review if you've already left a review. We love you so much. If you haven't left a review, that's totally okay. We understand. But they really, really do help.
Any way you guys can support us is great. It doesn't have to be by donating or whatever. Let your friends know about us. Share us.
Share the episodes. Retweet it. Share it on Facebook. Just tell a friend. Get a friend in. However you can support us, we really do truly appreciate it. And if you're just one of those people who's just very shy and you can't do it, thank you for listening. We appreciate you listening, and you know what? We might not ever hear from you because you're shy, but we want you to know we care that you listen, and we really, really appreciate it.
And I'm sure, hopefully, the people that have met us
don't hate us.
Can tell you, I hope you guys don't hate us. That's the biggest thing. Please don't hate us. But that we are normal people, just like you guys.
Normal-ish.
I'm
We're
a little
weird.
bit weird.
We're awkward.
So cool.
Yeah. So this has been a really fun episode. So thank you guys for sending us your stuff. Please continue to do so. And I think that's just about it. So do you want to do the sign out?
Keep on creeping on, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.